All right, what's up, everybody? Hopefully, everybody's having a fantastic day. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to see what's going on with this thing. We're going to look at some key levels. Let me first, I have to change something real quick because something is going on over here I don't like. Oh, let me do this. Apply, hit OK. See if that fixes it. Okay, so basically what we did yesterday on Bitcoin was we retested the December open and rejected. We were anticipating this happening yesterday, so we took instead. I have a long position open on Bitcoin that we literally been watching the yearly open all week long, which is just the yellow line here on my chart, $87,497. It's this year's open, 2026. You can see how basically all week, after we broke down on Sunday, we broke back up, and then we've been holding it as support, but with these garbage wicks under it. So that's kind of where we're like holding along from, in anticipation that Bitcoin might find support here and start rallying again. It's literally the last place that will have me even have a slightly bullish bias on this, as that's the way I analyze price. We analyze price objectively on this channel, and we take it from there, right? We look for our high probable opportunities at objective price points. So if Bitcoin wants to remain bullish or even be bullish in 2026, then obviously it's got to be trading above this price. The fact that we got off of it after running stops on Tuesday, it was a really wacky day. Had a really nice bullish reaction here Tuesday morning, and then we came back down, ran stops. Then bullish reaction, consolidation, bullish reaction, retested the December open, ran stops. This was before the FOMC. We got the FOMC, we ran the stops, and Bitcoin is back down to the yearly open. That's literally what the week has done. All week. It's been very choppy, very slow, very boring, annoying price action. So anyways, what we did yesterday during the members only live stream is we're holding longs on Bitcoin from the yearly open, and we wanted to mitigate that long side only risk because Bitcoin is so weak and a sell, right? The technical analysis would be to be looking to sell resistance on Bitcoin, as there's just a lot of chaos going on right now in the world. And then when you come and just look at Bitcoin by itself, market-wise, you have literally a civil war going on between the NOTS community and the core devs. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there in the Bitcoin space. We do have a live stream coming up in about 20 minutes where Michael Saylor's going to talk. We will listen to a little bit of that. I didn't do a live stream yesterday for the FOMC because we knew the FOMC wasn't going to do anything. The Fed right now is kind of fighting against the presidency. So the president wants them to cut rates. Essentially, Donald Trump threatened with legal ramifications and to try to twist Powell's arm to get him to do what he wants to do. And this is just Powell's way of saying, screw you, Donald Trump, I'm not cutting rates. It's kind of childish and petty, and I'm here for it. I love it. But the reason I didn't do a live stream was simply because we knew nothing was going to come about. We knew he wasn't going to answer any questions about that. We knew he wasn't going to be doing any hike or cuts. Nothing was going to happen. And literally that's what happened yesterday. Nothing. This is where we were looking for shorts yesterday, or I informed other people if they wanted to trade, you could look for shorts there. So if you're in that, there's no reason to close it. Just hold. But yeah, so I took it on Fartcoin instead, and I'm still holding that. I took profits on it yesterday. I entered the position here at 4-hour supply. We got this move down lower, so when this move happened, I took profits here, and now I'm just kind of sitting in it, waiting for a push up to 29.43 so I can enter with another position for another potential downside expansion. If that occurs, I'll take profits again. All right, so that's what we're doing. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We are trading. I am trading. You are watching me trade. What you do with your own money is up to you. Obviously, I am not a licensed investor. I can't tell you what to do with your money, and I won't. So But if you come here to learn and watch and observe what I'm doing, I'm more than okay to have you guys hang out with me. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. Right now, today, there is a setup currently potentially happening on Hype USDT. This is the one that I like for my favorite for setups today in terms of the shitcoin sphere, right? In crypto. So I'm looking for Hype USDT to potentially roll over. We did get a weakness signal here yesterday. Let me see this real quick. So obviously Hype got really, really bullish down here. Last week we shorted it and we took profits on it and we got stopped out right here. So basically just kind of been letting this thing do its own thing for a little bit, and it got massively overbought. That's like almost a 50% rally. And then here's that little bit of weakness that we saw come in yesterday. I am expecting a pullback. It did get extremely overbought. The bad thing about crypto is what a lot of people loves about crypto, right? It can get really overbought and keep going. Like, that's what it does. So I want to see a rejection here. We use objective analysis, and this is how easy it is. If Hypecoin literally struggles to push above what is 8-hour res, right? It is also 4-hour res. If it fails to push and make upside continuation from this point, this is where we're going to mitigate our risk from, or this is where I am going to mitigate my risk from. So I'm basically looking to take a short trade here if it looks or feels as if though it might fail there. If we look at the intraday price action and look at the session volume profile, you're going to see that it does look like the bulls have bought it up. Let's go down into the intraday real quick, the small time frames, the 5-minute, so you can see what happened. Basically, it's just built-in support down here at the bottom of the daily range. So this is generally bullish, especially when price has a reaction like this. However, if it does fail here, then I can target this area. There's a lot of stops, a lot of people. I've already been stopped out of this trade once this morning, so a lot of people already tried their luck at it and missed. I was one of them. We're actually testing that level now, so I'm actually going to put on a short right now just before the market opens, and I might live to regret that decision. We'll see. I'm not risking a lot of money. I'm not trying to make $1 million on one trade. I just look to put trades on at high probabilistic areas and generate a reoccurring revenue stream that way. That's what trading is. It's not trying to get rich. It's trying to just make money consistently over time. And this is how you do it. So we'll see if it wants to keep going here or if it's going to fail. High of day, obviously, you just made a new one. Yeah, pretty much. So actually, let's give it a second. Let's see what it wants to do here. I don't like taking a short right before the bell. I really hate it, actually. It's like one of the worst things on the planet. So let's give it a minute, see what it wants to do. Yesterday's high all the way up there. So if we're trading above this point, we don't need to put the short on because we know it's going here, right? So that's the whole thing. That's how we do this. So it is looking like it wants to trade here and get a little bit volatile. We're more than okay with it. I can't be entering it until we at least get some closures back down in this area. This was the first area that I was looking to mitigate that risk from, and obviously I ate a stop. I keep my stops very, very tight because the way my strategy works, if I'm right, I'm going to be right pretty damn quickly. I don't need to set in a trade for hours and hours and hours hoping and praying that it works. I want to know pretty quick. So there's no point for me to set in the red for a long ass time. I would rather just get in. If it works, good, take my money. If it don't, get out, look to do it again somewhere else. It's scalping. That's what we do. So yeah, right here, right now, that's what we got going on. Bitcoin, long term, I have a more bearish bias on it, but because it's above the yearly open, I have a slight bullish bias on it. But I definitely want to see it start to trade away from this area, being the yellow line. So if you're looking for longs on Bitcoin, I mean, this is where I put mine on, right here. But I did it after I got stopped out. I re-entered the position. So it was almost like one and done. In, out, in. So two and done. My bad. All right. So you would be waiting for this level to be tested, or wait for this level to be stopped out and then see if it gets back up there. Don't get chopped up. We got stopped out of this on Tuesday. We didn't trade it again. We waited until Wednesday. Got stopped out again on Wednesday. So that's 2 losses that I've chalked up on this one trade idea. I do not love the fact that we got up to December's open and came right back. That's why I'm not bullish here. I feel as if though it's going to break down. I don't want a support level to be tested a lot. I want it to be tested, form support, and then leave the area. Once it tests it, form support, leaves the area, I definitely do not want it coming right back the next day. So that's why I don't love it. But generally speaking, I have noticed that I've taken some trades that I did not feel good about them, and they've worked out overall. So I feel good about the hype short if it can reject. So this one might not work, and the one that I don't feel good about could. So yeah, I'm going to take the short here on Fartcoin up there. So we're nowhere near that yet. So let me go ahead and put an order on, or at least an alert up here. And then real quick, while we're waiting on hype to suss this level out real quick, let's discuss USD/JPY. Long term, I think this thing goes lower, especially if the Fed continues to cut rates. Scott Bessent literally said that they did not and are not going to do anything with the yen, but that's just right now. The yen has been very bullish. The USD yen has been very bullish. The yen itself has been very weak. So basically the yen got strong because people started to close down carry trades in anticipation of either the BOJ or the Federal Reserve intervening. So think about it. If you've been holding a big position in this asset for years, and you basically got confirmation that not only will the BOJ intervene in this thing if it continues to go up, but the Fed has, made a call and got quotes on prices, which signaled that even the Fed might intervene. Then if you're taking that, you're going to probably close that position, right? Thinking to yourself, well, this lemon has had all of its juice squeezed out. We literally have 2 governments potentially signaling intervention. They're getting out. I think that's kind of what caused this melting, if you will, of the USD/JPY. It was dollar weakness, strong dollar weakness, and yen strength. But that's what you would get if big carry trade positions started to come off. I don't know if you're going to see that continue into the future or not. As down here, some investors might think that this is a good opportunity to go long again, and they can take profits at 158. The long-term traders probably ain't thinking that. Only short-term traders would be. We'll see what it does. Its structure was very bullish, but this candle is a bearish engulfing, and you took out 2 months worth of lows. So that's typically not very bullish. That's actually the opposite. So I'm only looking for continuation. We've got 2 days left on this candle, 1 day, 8 hours left on this, and we're going to get February's open. So this short might not even be good to put on today. It might be better to put on sometime in the first week of February. If you get a retest up in here or something, you could potentially look to put that trade on. I don't know if you're going to miss it or anything, but it got extremely oversold down here on the 8 hour, and it even got oversold on the daily. So I figured it would probably be sideways to up for at least a couple days, as it allows that overbought or oversold indicator to get back up, into a more preferable position for looking to put on new trades. So yeah, I like it. And another way that I am looking to take this would be pound yen. So if you don't want to take it based on the structure and everything that's going on with the dollar, you could potentially take it on pound yen, because if the yen does firm up, then this is another one that has basically been straight up for a very long time. Now, the reason I like pound yen is because it is trading into an objective level of potential resistance. I say potential. It was resistance back here. We don't know if that will be the same case moving forward. So it is only potential resistance now, but it is an objective point that was resistance back in the past. So we'll see if this holds as well. Another thing that you're doing right here, right now, is you're retesting last year's high. So that's literally what you're doing here. You've already traded above last year's high. You're pulling back into it to see if it wants to hold as support. The asset is structured bullish. So what I'm looking for or anticipating here, if it is going to be a sell, it could happen here or here. If it isn't a sell, price will continue to trade higher. So I am not interested in taking a short up in here. I'm only interested in taking it here, and that's only if I get what I want to see. A liquidation and then a drop back under, or a drop back into the range. Because then I could look at it on a longer term chart as a range bound trade. All right, I could target the monthly low, a new month low, if you will. So basically what we're looking at here is a weak open retest, and we want to see that fail. Like I said, it's very bullish. So shorts have not been working on this. But I'll leave that up to you to ultimately make the decision on what you want to do. And that's pound yen. And that's basically what I'm looking at. Hype, pound yen, Bitcoin, and Fartcoin today. If there is something that you want me to take a look at, you can drop it in the chat and I will take a look at it as soon as we can. And then when that live stream with Michael Saylor starts, if you guys want, we will take a look at that, and that's over here. So you can see that's happening in 8 minutes. So the stream will start before the market opens. It could be a little bit chaotic this morning. We'll see. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's do it. Yeah. So Fartcoin still down there. Bitcoin just looking bad here. It's lost the weekly VWAP. Now, because it's not breaking down and continuing, we have a similar pattern that we had over here, right? Where price just kind of chops around this area. If it does that, which it has been doing that for a while now, it's breaking down and putting in that continuation move. That would be the signal that it has really lost the weekly VWAP. I mean, it looks very weak. On the daily chart, it looks weak. On the weekly chart, it looks bad. Here's what you got on the long-term charts. You basically came back up and retested this near-term trend line. Where is the line? Or the dot? Let me hear. Let me get. Okay, I see. It's one of these. So yeah, basically, you traded up into it yesterday, but it was the December open is what we were looking to put why we were looking to put risk on Bitcoin. Like I said, I didn't take that trade. I shorted Fartcoin instead. I felt like if Bitcoin rejects here, Fartcoin would also take a beating, and Fartcoin moves more than Bitcoin. So just a way to kind of get more out of the trade idea, because Bitcoin has been very slow lately. Longer term, there is a much larger trend line over here that's also kind of coming into play. You get it up there. You can see here. Yeah, longer term, it's basically been, I guess it really hasn't done anything, so we don't even need that. It's December's open is literally the objective resistance. It was resistance here, here, and here. You broke out, you tested it as support there, you got support, and you broke back under it here. So resistance test, resistance test, resistance test. So obviously December's open is resistance. That's why we were looking for the short there. Even though it was bullish, right? Even though objectively speaking, you were up on the year here, it's still the overall chart is weak. It's still a short. That's the reason for looking for the short. And then the level just simply right there, right in front of our face. It was a very easy trade to take. We'll see what happens with it. Obviously, I don't want Bitcoin to break down. People make more money when Bitcoin goes up. It's just easier for the mass to make money when Bitcoin is going up. It doesn't matter to me if Bitcoin goes up or down. I really don't care. I'm in Bitcoin because I want to make more money, and Bitcoin gives us that opportunity. Right? It's a trading vehicle. I do love it, and I do believe it could be something great in the future. But so I own it and I trade it. I have to trade it to protect what I have in it long term. I can't just set in along and hope for the best. That's not how I roll. But we'll see what it does. Yeah. Okay. Going back over to hype because it is literally trying to set up now. I don't know that it's going to roll over, and like I said, it has been very bullish the last few days. It doesn't
I'm truly honored to welcome each and every one of you here in Las Vegas for what has become one of the most anticipated events in the crypto world, the annual Bitcoin conference. This gathering has grown into a global hub for blockchain enthusiasts, developers, investors, and visionaries who are shaping the future of finance. A sincere thank you to the organizers, the partners, the technical teams, and of course all of you, the attendees, for making this event not only possible but truly meaningful.
Yeah, let me do it like
Over the past few months, we've all witnessed a high level of uncertainty across the financial markets, and crypto has been no exception. Bitcoin in particular has shown dramatic swings, surging past $100,000 at one point, then suddenly correcting and dipping below $80,000.
Do not scan this. This is most likely a scam. I don't even know if this is really live or anything, but like if this looks like a legitimate channel, but it could have been hacked. So be careful. Don't be scanning stuff. Don't be sending people money.
International markets.
I'm gonna
Traditional
look and
stocks,
see if it's live
tech
anywhere
shares,
else,
and even
or if this is the only
commodities
channel.
have all felt the impact. Naturally, this instability has
ask
reached
Rock.
into the crypto space as well. However, and this is important today, is not about fear. My company has recently made a strategic investment acquiring a substantial amount of both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as a gesture of appreciation to the community, we've decided to give back by giving you the opportunity to double your crypto holdings.
Okay. Hang on.
Here's how it works. Right
There
now
are
on
some
your screen,
older unrelated live videos on YouTube, past interviews, keynotes, or third party. So this could be this might be old, so forget about it. Yeah, Grok says he's not. Okay, let me see. Is he speaking right now live on any platform? No. Okay. Yeah. So it's a crock of shit. Perfect. We'll leave it. I didn't want to listen to that garbage anyway. All right. Perfect. All right. So we're not interested. We're not interested in a short above 34.42 because it's going higher. It's breaking out or heading for another high. And so that literally squashed the short idea. We want to see it roll over from here. And we got the bell coming up in 10 minutes. I hate taking the short before the bell. I will chase this thing down to this level here. Simply because that is the prior 4-hour swing high. So I don't need to put that risk on here. Obviously, the risk to reward gets a lot worse down there because if it fails to put in a breakdown below this low, well, you're not going to make any money then. I'm not going to make any money then, right? Because that's what I obviously need to happen. I need it down here. So this would be my like profit taking area. This would be my target, if you will. I wouldn't be expecting a perfect test of this target either. Just if price gets anywhere within that vicinity, I will take profits. So that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm just trading the range that the market's already given us. If you look at the higher time frame charts, you can see this play out over and over and over and over again, right? So it just makes it very simple. It gives you very easily identifiable areas to put risk on. Very simple. You can use other indicators and stuff like that to help you, but I mean, no indicator has a 100% hit rate. No strategy has a 100% hit rate. So in terms of hit rates go, just trade the range and use very little risk, and long term you'll do real good. Double check the Sailor stream might be fake. His X account does not show it. Yeah, it's fake. It's fake. As soon as I saw that scan on it, knew right away it was fake. But it's a large channel, so I'm assuming that channel got hacked. Whenever you see those streams on big channels like that, their channels got hacked. They're using it to scam as many people as possible. Definitely fake. Very useful. AI is very useful. Literally told me that it was fake, so we're good with that. We don't want that. Definitely don't be sending money to those things. Those are always fake. Not a lot going on here as far as like high event risk. Let's just go make sure. Yesterday was pretty much that high event risk day, having the FOMC and all that, but we knew it was going to amount to nothing. Yeah, January, there's nothing. There's consumer confidence that happened last night. So nothing on the docket today for at least high event risk in terms of news releases. So today it should be basically just pretty much based on PEA or price action. So right now, this does look bullish here on the very near term. It broke down and then held and then support, and now you're breaking out. So it does look like it wants to run today. So up here is a very good place to watch if it can get up there. And this is what I currently have for open positions right now. Very small moves. Like I said, I took profits on Farcoin, so I got to reposition in it a little bit lower. We'll take a look at that real quick. So basically, you can see where my entry was here. It gave you a retest there. Then it broke down, so when it pushed, I took profits. Now it's basing up, so if it fails here, then I would be putting on a new position that would bring my cost basis down to about in here somewhere. And that's what I'm looking to do today. If hype rolls over, that'll be a plus. And as you can see, I also have something going on in XMR here, but I don't like XMR. That's why I haven't brought it up. I'm most likely going to get stopped out of this. I put this position on way too far down on the daily range. It actually looks like it's about to bounce, but here, let's just go look at it long term. Give me 1 second here. Oh, sorry. Down here, XMR. So you can see down in here, I was basically watching something similar. Here's the higher time frame charts down here on the lows. I'm not loving it for short all the way down here, but especially being so close to the early opening range. But if I can get in on a position here and it does break down, then I could target this low and just take profits as it pushes through there. That's what I was basically looking at. It's very weak. The daily 21 EMA is probably much lower than that now. Yeah, it is. So let's move it down where it should be. It's the only moving average I really care about, as it's like the mean. So you can see we're kind of far away from that. I like taking trades close to it. Whereas like yesterday on the pound, you closed above that. So here, let's go look at the pound on a daily real quick so you can see what I'm talking about here. So we broke down, retested it, closed above yesterday. We also closed above the prior day high. So this actually looks bullish, right? It looks very bullish. And you could be looking to buy the day low or as close to the day low as possible if you think it's going back to the upside. That's absolutely 100% allowed. Once you close above, that's typically a bullish signal. However, I'm looking at it as potentially being a trap, a bull trap. So we've already liquidated the day high and rolled over, and because you haven't rolled over yet, kind of feels like it wants to go up, don't it? Generally, when you liquidate a prior day high, you don't want to see it spending much time up there or going back. So if it doesn't get up, make a new day high at the New York Open, and then reject, I will not be taking a short on this. All right? Because of the way it looks and how its structure has basically switched back to the upside. If you look at this on a weekly, it's very bullish. So yeah, it's just looking for a potential short here early. We'll see if it works out or not. And Zcash had a nice move last week also. It did reject the highs Tuesday. I was actually looking for the trade yesterday. So similar to what you see here on Zcash, that's what I'm looking for to play out on hype, right? You get a breakdown, you get under the prior support, you close under it. This is like a supply test. Now, obviously, you're well above what would be looked at as a supply candle, right? So there really isn't a supply candle here, but it still would have been a simple trade to put on. I just missed it. I missed it. So looking for this kind of pattern to play out on hype. We go out to the higher time frame here, you can see. All right, same thing. There's an absolute perfect supply candle. Well, we're way above it. So really and truly, for the strategy, you would have to wait for this candle to close back under it before you could take it. That might be a good thing to do. I don't know that it is going to roll over. It is very bullish. You got well above the daily 21 on this thing, and you're well above the yearly opening range. The only reason I'm looking at it, yeah, your 21's way down here. As a short would be for more like a, what the hell is that? More like a reversion type of trade, like where it gets too stretched out and it reverts to the mean. And of course, I like that idea better if Bitcoin is rolling over. If Bitcoin is rolling over, or I like that idea better if dominance is strong. We don't have a strong dominance today. It's up, it's just not strong. So the trade idea is not like a great trade idea. But that is what I'm looking for. I am looking for it to roll over and revert to the mean a little bit. Maybe come back down here and test this weekly VWAP. And then if it can hold that as support for multiple hours, I might be interested in buying it. But obviously we're not there yet. We have to trade with what we got right now, right in front of us. So if you're just joining me, I'm looking for a short on hype. It's overextended a little bit. Just looking for a reversion to the mean. And if Bitcoin is weak today, I think that will help that trade. I am not looking for shorts above this white line. So at any time today, if I'm not live and you You're still thinking I'm looking for shorts? I am not. I am not. If price is trading above this white line, I am not looking for shorts anymore. So don't try to trade it all day today thinking that it's going to roll over. I don't know what it's going to do. This thing could break out and go up another 100% for all I know. I don't think that's likely, but you never know. Bitcoin could get super bullish today and break out, get above December's open, and just keep going. You know what I mean? And that would not make me want to be short any crypto. But if Bitcoin's going to remain to be weak, I think these big movers are perfect places to look for opportunity. I do like this 30-minute candle reaction. We did get the bell 1 minute ago, so that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing the larger volumes come in here now. We're literally 1 minute into the open. So let's see what happens here. Risk is here. Stop, high day. I've already been stopped out of it once, so if I eat another stop, I will kind of really need to see that weakness before I even attempt to put on another one. There's 3, I'm done. If I lose 3 trade attempts, I quit for the day. It's just not working out. I'm not on the right side of the market. As far as risk markets go, the VIX is gapping, or it's not gapping up today. It actually gapped down, but it's trading up into yesterday's high. And the cash market S&P is gapping nowhere. It opened right where we closed yesterday. So here's what I'm talking about on the cash market. This is your SPX top right on your screen. S&P 500. We made a fresh all-time high on Tuesday. You've seen a nice gap up on Wednesday. That gap got filled, and now today you're seeing it open right where it closed yesterday. This is a more bullish look, but if we look at the VIX on the long term, on the week here, if you notice what I've noticed and have been noticing for several weeks now is ever since we put in this breakdown close, every single week since then has been a higher close. It has been extremely volatile and a lot of movement, but every single close has been higher. Higher close, higher close, higher close. So it feels like it's trying to break out, but this is more of an oscillator. It doesn't trend. It can, and it has before. It's threatening a run. It did get a nice run last week, and that was immediately sold off, but it closed above the prior week close. So it's a higher close. That kind of feels like the markets are tired. And I mean, Bitcoin's acting like it's tired, right? So that's why I'm looking for a short. Or that's why I'm more heavily positioned short than long. So you're retesting the yearly opening range right now on Bitcoin. And then hype is moving down. This is what we want to see. XMR is still rejecting supply, so that's kind of good as well. Fartcoin never did give me that new entry. I can't enter a new short down here. It has to be up here. So I just have to let this go without me. And then, like I said, Bitcoin retesting your yearly open right now as we speak. Very lackluster performance here on price. With Bitcoin, the weekly range is just pitiful. If we look at the weekly chart and get rid of all these lines so I don't confuse you, this weekly candle looks bad. See, generally when we get these kind of moves in a very long consolidation zone, we want to anticipate this potentially being a trap, right? A bear trap. Because when people see this, they get extremely bearish. So we were hoping that Bitcoin could break through December's open. December's open is literally right here at 90,730 bucks. That's where December's open is. It literally marked the high of the week. And we didn't want to see that, but we had to position for that. We wanted to see this break out above that and take out last week's high, and that would have confirmed a trap, or at least it doesn't mean you'll get upside continuation, but it would go a long ways in helping upside continuation because all the shorts from last week are stopped or about to be stopped. That's not what we got. Instead, we tested what would be considered a weekly supply zone, and now we're pulling back. That's not great. That's pitiful, weak price action. If I see this on FART or any other asset other than Bitcoin, I'm licking my chops because I'm looking for shorts. Looking for shorts. I hate that for anybody that only holds long-term longs on Bitcoin. I wish you would learn how to become a trader and mitigate risk, and that way you could protect your long-term holdings by, participating in these moves. No hype, still pushing in the right direction. Finally, we did not take out that low yet. This low needs to be taken out at a bare minimum. If it just trades down into here and then stops going lower, that's going to be dangerous as it could still spike. It needs to be trading under this. This is the line in the sand. Let's get rid of that one so we don't confuse anybody. Yeah, this is our, that would be primary target. Secondary target would be like low of day. And you can see that's almost a 4% move. 3.5%. Not bad. Not bad at all. But it has to do that. So this will be like kind of the intraday support zone. As far as the session volume profile, I mean, you're overbought up in these areas, or at least you're above the value area high. And that has just switched. So now the value area high is all the way up here. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, it looks okay for shorts. POC up here, migrated up. But that doesn't always mean that it's sellers. It could mean that you have higher buyers showing up as well. Only time will tell who wins, but yeah, I don't like this. I will like it if it starts to break down through here, as there is a mess load of stops sitting in this broad area right here. So you could see how, that could be a good short if it does break down. You could get a trending move out of that. Low volume node right here at 33.15. That's also that 4-hour low. So it is a very important level as far as just intraday price structure. If it can't break down through that, I might exit the short. Because we see these areas act as support sometimes, this low volume node. It's the smallest volume node in all of this price action. Basically, the reason it's a low volume node is because you broke out through there, and it is what it is. So the bulls have like control of price on the near term. They even have the deltas. The bulls do. You're above the neutral line on deltas. So bulls have it for now. I do still have $200 of unrealized gains on the FART coin trade, so obviously I could take that if I wanted to, but I would rather add to the position if Bitcoin's going to be weak today. I don't really like that Bitcoin's going down first at the very beginning of the day. Kind of, after being weak, it kind of smells like a stop run, but we'll see what it does. See, like, Farcoin isn't breaking down. It isn't heading to the lows. It's just sitting here on the lows. So it does feel like it's trying to break down. You haven't liquidated this low yet, so it kind of feels like that would happen. We'll see. I am not going to add to the short position if Farcoin starts to break out and get speed and momentum above this line. I only want to add to the short there if it gets up there and fails. I won't know that it's going to fail when it gets up there. I just have to put the trade on and see what happens. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, LMG. Run Mountains. What's up? He does not buy ETH. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. Bix is pushing up. We making good money today. Hopefully. Hopefully we're making good money today. I would love to see Hype reprice some of what it did over last week and early this week. Because if it could give us a larger move like what Zcash did, then we could make some real good money. Yeah, this thing, once it broke down here, it didn't come back. So you had to get in on one of these two candles, or you just didn't get in on the trade. There's no way in hell I would be shorting down here on this candle with the week open being that close, the near-term price. It's typically, if the VWAP is underpriced, you would look for that area to be a potential long. And obviously the longs were wrong as it broke down, and now you're seeing a slight continuation move. So I missed that, and it sucks. So hopefully Hype does something similar. It was the reason I was kind of more bullish on Bitcoin on Tuesday was because of these things, how bullish they were. So it kind of felt like Bitcoin was about to make a big run. But the sellers had other things on their mind for Bitcoin. I will be stopped out if it gets about right in here. So my entry was literally on this wick, so my stop is setting just under it. On the long trade on Bitcoin, it will be stopped out. I did not take profits on the long trade because I was looking for a broader move, a more long-term move. That's why I was scalping Farcoin around the Bitcoin position to eliminate that long-only risk. So Hype's still struggling at support. We could mark that volume node if we wanted to with a gray box. Oh, sorry. That low volume node area. That way we could basically, we know where it is, right? We know that 4-hour low is there. So it needs to break through that. If it can break through that with some downside continuation, this could be a really good trade. You can see how when you did break out above that low volume node area, how price came back to it and literally retested it. That it was also retesting the prior 4-hour low. But still, like, that's like kind of a confluence. So if I would have taken that trade, my profit target would have been here. So I would have been long here and exiting here as it pushed up through the highs, or even as it got close to the highs, because sometimes it doesn't make new highs. But yeah, so that we definitely need it to break through there. If you're new and you're wondering, yes, you can apply this strategy across all markets. I do. We're similarly waiting for something to happen on silver. We took a short on it the other day and it got stopped, obviously. And you're seeing upside continuation now. So, I mean, it doesn't look like the sellers have this thing yet. They will get it. It's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and where, right? So we don't want to take too many shots at it. We want to take them sparingly. Since we got stopped out of silver on when this happened, right? We were looking for the breakdown, upside retest, and continuation. And obviously the FOMO buying kept it going higher. So this not quite a blowout or a blow off yet. I don't know that you're going to get a blow off. So, I mean, if you want to attempt it, I'm not going to. Not yet. But this is what I would need to see. And I would definitely need to see continuation. Yeah, it seems to be trying to break down through that high here with a little bit of steam. So, in a sense, if it were to retest this level, that's how I would put the short on. And then with a small stop right up here. It's simple as that. But it can't close another candle above. I just want to see a wick into that area and then a candle push down. That's what would have to happen for me to be able to even think about taking it. It's so bullish. I do honestly believe eventually it's going to pull back with some momentum. Pound yen is giving us that little bit of a rejection. Here, 30-minute, you can see it. And you did smoke the low. So you got 12 minutes left on this candle. I wouldn't want to see it pull back in this time frame. I would want to see the pullback happen on the next time frame. And as long as it can reject here, similarly to what I just said on silver, a wick into it and then a rejection, then I can take that short on pound yen. Remember, pound yen is bullish on the daily and weekly charts, so trying to get short here is it's not the best trade idea. It's counter trend, and counter trend trades don't work out that often. Definitely trading with the trend is much better. As you can see here, we've got a nice rejection from up there, but we still haven't really done anything, right? We still haven't really done anything. This is your retest of support. There's your expansion. So as long as you're trading above this area, you haven't done anything. You have not broken the trend. You've not broken structure. You haven't broken support. So this trade is going to be a very risky one. So XMR is moving just at a snail's pace. It's absolutely sideways. AF. ZEC rejecting the lows. Fartcoin smoked the lows. So now we'll probably see it wiggle a little bit. ETH giving you pretty much full-on continuation now. Bitcoin smoking the day low, but not the prior day low. So there's your prior day low. Bitcoin can still be bullish above this area. Breaking this, not good. Not good. This is literally the last. It's like the last chance for the bulls to prove it. And after this week's price action, they probably ain't looking to do that. There's just a lot of uncertainty out there for Bitcoin right now. That's literally what's going on. Uncertainty is like the worst thing for any market. The 4-year cycle is a very certain thing. It happens every 4 years. So that's not what's causing all this chaos and this weakness. It's the uncertainty.
They thought I was underdog. I did not fear not one of y'all. They thought I was underdog. I did not fear not one of y'all. They thought I was underdog. I do not fear not one of y'all. They thought I was underdog. I did not fear not one of y'all. I'm too competitive. I like the narrative that I'm the best in the league. Who you comparing with? That isn't fetid. Top of the throne, it is me. How you moving slow when it's speed? I just been bringing the heat. I just been bringing the. I just been bringing the.
My margin ratio on Bitcoin is 5.88. It's the exact on Fartcoin, so literally it is kind of the exact same size position. So that's good. That means I've made more on the Fartcoin short when Bitcoin tested December's open yesterday. I've made more on the Fartcoin short than I did make on the Bitcoin long, as far as unrealized P&L, because I never touched the Bitcoin trade. I wanted it to break out and go, as then it would have really started to pay a lot of money. But it didn't do that. It failed. So really and truly, I could just leave this position on Fartcoin alone. Completely alone. I don't have to add to it here. And it doesn't look like it's going to give us that opportunity. Fartcoin is a really good, it's not like a good indicator to predict Bitcoin price, but what it is a good indicator to help you identify is sentiment. Because Fartcoin has no use case at all. It is a legit meme token. It has a lot of liquidity and a lot of volume every day because traders love trading it. So whatever Fartcoin is doing, sometimes you can carry that sentiment into Bitcoin. It doesn't work all the time. There are days where Fartcoin is just choppy and Bitcoin is trending and vice versa. But if you're in a trending area, or if you're seeing trending take place on one or the other, you could use that to kind of gauge sentiment. So you can see that Fartcoin is weak here and breaking down through the day low. Like, this is the area that once you lose this, it's down here, baby. I mean, it could find support at the week open, but it wouldn't be a trade that I would want to take. But yeah, it doesn't look good. It literally means you've given back all of that bullish continuation. This is a breakout above resistance. Here's your resistance. That was your line in the sand. You couldn't close higher daily candles in this area. So literally that's your resistance. Closing above is a good thing. So what we generally want to see is we want to see price pull back. We don't want to see it pull back the entire range though. We want to see it pull back roughly to the midpoint and then hold. Well, we did that here. And now you can see today you're breaking down. That's not a good sign. Not great. And so since that's happening here, that might be leading as what's happening over here. So I am very, very close to getting stopped out of that Bitcoin position. Like, very, very close. Most likely, if it refuses to go lower than that, I would attempt it again. I would hate to do it because it is what it is, but I mean, I'm going to close out the week green, so as long as that's the case, I can take another shot. On Bitcoin, I just don't love it. I just don't love it. It's hard for me to be bullish on an asset that is literally bearish on the year. And it was bearish last year, so that weakness is carrying on into the new year. At some point, I do believe we will exhaust these sellers, but I think you would have to see some kind of truce between Core and the BIP 110ers, and that's not going to happen. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen. They are moving full steam ahead with the soft fork, and they are getting more and more people in on it. So that's not great news for Bitcoin. Michael Saylor even announced it himself, right? And that is like the one massive risk for Bitcoin. I can't exactly remember how he stated it. Let's go look real quick. Give me one sec. Right here, I think it is. Oh, right there it is. The greatest risk to Bitcoin is ambitious opportunists advocating protocol changes. They're not ambitious, and they're not trying to make anything off of this. All they're doing is they're trying to revert Bitcoin back to monetary data only. They're trying to get rid of all this garbage that is happening on the Bitcoin chain. Well, since they're doing that, they want to clean Bitcoin. They want it to be peer-to-peer money, not a meme, not like something that stores meme data, right? Twitter's good for meme data. We want Bitcoin to be money. We want it to be financial transactions only. So that's what they're doing, and he thinks that is the single greatest risk to Bitcoin. And it could be. We'll see what happens. I mean, Bitcoin definitely ain't liking it. I am stopped out of Bitcoin. Zilong is gone. Good for anybody that did take that December open short yesterday. Whether you took it here or here, good on you. That's how it's done. I mean, January's range is a perfect example of a breakout failure. So it's a swing high failure pattern. And basically, once Bitcoin did that, that's when we really, here, let me get a new chart. That's when we really started to have a really more negative sentiment on Bitcoin. On this channel, once we broke out and failed. When we lost that literally changed everything for us. We wanted to see this be a higher low. We wanted to see Bitcoin at a very minimum smoke this low and then go. It didn't. It broke down again, and then a big breakdown. So not good. It's very weak, man. It's very weak. Very weak. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, you're bearish on the month. This thing closes in 2 days. Bearish on the month. That's a clean short side entry. You can't get no cleaner. Very clean. Oh, here's what's going on up here. Got the Farcoin short on. It's starting to make some money now, or at least I like to take profits at $300 as I'm risking usually $30 to make 300. And generally speaking, take profits once, you can do it again. That's a good trade, right? It paid you twice. Here's the new trade we took just this morning on Hype. Small position, a little bit too small. So it is what it is. I can't do anything about it now. And then the XMR thing is, if I just don't get stopped out of that, I'd be happy. I am very heavily short over here on the portfolio. So I don't really love that. But I'm not really seeing any reason to be getting long anything right now. I mean, that's a serious breakdown. That is, you're breaking down and the midpoint is well above where you're trading at. This is what we consider to be a legit breakdown. A legit breakdown. Yeah, Bitcoin looks like it's going lower, folks. You still have, I mean, you're still an inside month. I mean, you're still inside December's range. If you take this out in 2 days, this low, you're going to have a bearish engulfing candle close. On a monthly, that's usually not great. That does not happen very often either on Bitcoin. Monthly bearish engulfs. No monthly bearish engulf here. Not there either. Not there. Not there. Not there. There's one. Now the strong short signal for me would have been a close under that low. Because it closed back above, we thought maybe this was just a retest of the range lows and it was potentially going to bounce. But as you can see, just because it was a bearish engulfing, the sellers just launched it. Sayonara. So I don't want to see another bearish engulfing here. That will look really, really bad. But it's not the end of the world either. I mean, if it wants to keep going lower, we'll just keep shorting it. It's fine with me. But yeah, it's much better when it's breaking out, running up like what silver did. We want to see that on Bitcoin. Okay, so there you go. There's that retest that I was talking about. That's what I would want to see before I could execute a short entry. I didn't take it because I don't even have my brokerage pulled up to do so. So it's still very, very volatile and could rip anywhere from here. So what you definitely need to see is you need to see some lower daily lows. And the very first one is all the way down there. So until you start making lower daily lows, you can't say that you even have a short side setup here yet. So be very careful. This thing could find support right here or here. Intraday. Okay, so hype has broken down through our level there. That's good. And we got a nice close on that 30-minute. Beautiful little retest there. I would love to see an expansion. Like I said, this one could turn into something because of all of that. So you can see we haven't done anything yet. Haven't done anything yet. Pound yen did not give me a potential signal or an entry yet. I'm waiting on it. Here's the pound yen. I'm waiting for a wick up into here, and then I'll short it. That's the prior 4-hour res. So if it can give me that, I'll jump on it. But if it doesn't, I won't. I'm not going to chase it. I'll just miss it. We were watching CAD yen in the community yesterday. And CAD yen did what we said. It did give you that close above, but it did not follow through with a trap like we wanted to see. It actually closed higher with another continuation candle. Though it might not be a short. You know what I mean? It's still trying to go up. It could go all the way down to 113, 150 and find support. That wouldn't be a short. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is starting to look good. Where the pants at? The pants are in the drawer, buddy. You know where they are. We don't wear pants. Yo, everything is falling. Told you, doom is upon us. Can you look at the ticker symbol Irene? Thank you. You are the GOAT. Absolutely. We can take a look at Irene real quick. while we're waiting for whatchamacallit to pay us. It looks like we looked at this thing a few times way back when. Yeah, it's it looks like it's pulling back a little bit here today. I'm not that I wouldn't be that concerned about it yet. Had a nice big bullish breakout the week prior. I think I said that if it held the weekly lows, you could be a buyer. It has done that so far. I wouldn't really be concerned with Irene unless it took out 5170. If you were able to get long at any one of these weekly lows or around them. It looks like it's trying to break out this week. Today's pullback is nothing to me. I would not be even a little bit afraid of that. Still looks bullish. I don't like that it took out yesterday's low, but at the same time, if it could build in supports at some time today, I would be happy with that. If you break back down into here, then something else is potentially going on here. As this is a higher low, a lower high, sorry. Right? So generally, we don't want to see lower highs and lower lows on any time frame. We want to see higher highs and higher lows. And you did put in a lot of higher highs, right? This thing got going really good here. This was where you broke out down at $27. So, that's a 100% move from the breakout point. So it did really good. It's very volatile. The ranges are expanded. They're very large. So upside continuation might happen. But at the same time, I would be concerned if it didn't. Depending on where your long entry is. I don't know where you're long from, or even if you are long. You just said, can I look at it? You didn't give me any ideas of what you were looking at or looking for. So I can only tell you what I see, but it looks okay. It looks okay. I definitely want to see higher highs and higher lows on the weekly chart. And I want to see that continue if I'm holding longs. And if it wants to go into a longer term sideways consolidation, well, at the very minimum, I don't want to see it making fresh lows. I want to see that consolidation happen within the weekly range it's already given you. I wouldn't be selling this, like looking for a short just yet. You know what I mean? But it definitely isn't weak. It's definitely strong. So I like to short weak assets, or if I'm shorting a strong asset, I want to short it when the overall sector is weak. Like on hype, for instance. Looking for a short today on hype, not the best trade setup because it is very bullish, right? Very bullish, has been for the last couple of days. However, the sector, the overall sector that it trades in is very weak. So that's the only time that I will short strength, is if the overall sector is weak. I don't know what sector this asset even trades in, so I can't tell you if it's weak or strong. But in stocks, a lot of times, they'll trade on their own merit too. As if the company is doing good, they're making money, and they have very low debt, then the ticker symbol should do good. As long as they keep making money, then the ticker should keep going up. In crypto, it's completely different, right? It's a lot of speculation in crypto. Generally, we look for stocks to continue in the direction they're going as long as the company's doing good. So now that we've broken down below that level, yeah, we're pretty close to target. The one in theory could take profits here if you took the short. If it breaks down, you could get a larger move out of it, but that's kind of hoping for something that we have no way of knowing, right? But yeah, Bitcoin has a serious breakdown, as it already has broken out of its what uptrend it did make there for a brief moment in time. It's already broken back down. That's not a good thing. Like, you are it looks like it is heading for December's low. Not a good thing. However, you just took out a very near-term low in Sunday. It doesn't look good, guys. It could find support, though. Still, I mean, it's not out of the woods here. That's for sure. But the more time it spends under this yellow line, the more bearish I will be. So hopefully it doesn't close down in here today. Hopefully this is all it was trying to do, right? Hopefully it's done what it was trying to do and it's done. Hopefully it trades sideways for the next few days. But doesn't look like it. Looks like it wants to go lower. Yeah, Farcoin, that was a good trade. Good trade, good trade. I'm just gonna hold it, see what happens with it. My entry on Farcoin is up in here. So there's no point for me to close this position. Here's my entry. Sorry. Right here. So that's where I put the short on. Big level of potential support here. It could bounce there. Pound yen still not retesting that level for us. Yen might be weakening here. Is this dollar strength? Oh, that's not the dollar. What is this? Litecoin's getting annihilated for some reason. DXY, please. Yeah, DXY is bouncing a little bit. It's sideways from yesterday, but S&P got hammered pretty good this morning. So there's your S&P. Boom. Bitcoin. Boom. And we definitely wanted to be short coming into today. No doubt about that. So I'm trying to see. You're into a potential support here. You can see on the cash market, you're into the monthly VWAP, and on the futures down here, your monthly VWAP's a little bit lower. I wouldn't want to buy into this much bearish momentum though. But you're not seeing yen firm up here. In fact, you're seeing the dollar firm up. So it's not the yen that's firming, and we would want to see the yen firming to kind of prove to us that it is really risk off out there. Let's add 6J. Oh wait, I did it wrong. Let's just add the yen futures on this chart. Yeah, you can see yen futures not really doing a lot in terms of strength here today. So that's the dollar is carrying the USD JPY because you're bouncing on the dollar. So basically, what's this doing? USD Swissy was a good trade, very good trade. We put that on a long time ago, as you can see, way over here. Been just setting in this thing for a while. in anticipation of DXY breakdown. But we knew the DXY was in a big long-term range. We had a bearish bias on the dollar, and now we're getting that trade working. And the USD JPY is starting to give us that, right? But these are pretty severe moves. I don't know how deep next week you're going to get of a retracement, but you can see where my short is in reference to this weekly range. It's not a good setup compared to where I'm short over here. Like, I shorted the highs over here. So next week or the week after, we might get a retest of this prior week high. That would be a better location for a short trade. It got a little bit overcooked here. A little bit overdone. It was massively oversold, and it can stay oversold, trust me. Like, look through here. If you compare the moves, this move is tiny compared to this, right? But if we look at this and we look at the RSI, it hit oversold right there. And then it chopped for a while, and then it rolled over again. Right? You got just above the 30 here. That red line is, the 40. The red line is 40. You got just above the 40, and then it rolled over again. Then it chopped a little bit, traded up, then it rolled over again. So if we're going to see a bigger continuation move, we will get a bounce. We just don't know how high that bounce will be. The bounce could be all the way into here on the RSI. So the better short might be in this area is what I'm trying to say. So next week or the week after, you could potentially look for USD JPY shorts. You don't have to short the lows like this or feel like you're going to miss out on the move. You're going to have time to catch it. Hopefully. Okay, so yeah, this is starting to look really good now. Really good. It'll look even way better if it can give me that engulfing. It'll look real good then. Yeah, we're into where we would generally be looking to take profits. For $300. There's the short entry. So it's looking really, really good. If it can make that lower low, it'll look even better. So if you can take profits, if you traded it, take profits. And damn it, on the yen, the pound yen is just, I didn't get my entry, and there it goes. Sorry. I was trying to get us in on it. I just couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. Anyways, it don't matter. We can't catch them all. They're like Pokemons. Can't catch them all. Or is it you gotta catch them all? I don't know. Never watched that cartoon. Can't catch all the trades. We do pretty good though. All right. Everything is falling. Yep. Doom is upon us. What's spooking the futures? That's a good question. I don't know. We could ask Grok. I don't have any news services pulled up or anything. Let's see if Grok can help us. What is spooking the ES futures market? The main thing spooking, or at least pressuring or creating uncertainty in the ES futures market right now appears to be a mixed reaction to big tech earnings, particularly concerned around heavy AI-related capital expenditures, also known as CapEx, not yet translating into strong enough monetization or returns. As of January 29th, 2026, that is today, The ES futures are trading in a relatively narrow range. Well, it isn't anymore. That's a little bit lower than that now. Not a major sell-off yet, but some hesitation and rotations. Key drivers: Microsoft reported earnings with another big surge in AI cloud spending, but its Azure, A-Z-U-R-E, cloud revenue disappointed relative to expectations. This has sparked fears that the massive ongoing outlays tied to its OpenAI partnership are not paying off quickly enough in terms of profit growth. Microsoft is down sharply in pre-market early trading, which is weighing on the broader index since tech mega caps drive so much of the S&P 500's moves. One analyst noted traders are no longer rewarding the biggest spenders, and Microsoft's elevated capex appears to have spooked them, leaving doubts that the continued spend will deliver a clear path to profit. In contrast, other tech names like Meta are jumping up 8-9% pre-market on upbeat guidance and capex plans. Tesla is up modestly on its own capex outlook. This is old, or it shouldn't be old. I just literally prompted it. Let me go look at Tesla before I say it is. Because, yeah, no, it isn't. Let's get rid of this. Wow, that was very messy. Yeah, Tesla's down today. So Tesla could not break out up here. Then it lost, got a leg lower, built in that consolidation range. So we want to see Tesla hold last week's low. We don't want to see it lose that. If it loses that, it's going to look pretty nappy. Still looks really good. It's obviously bearish on the year, but that was the highest ever yearly open. So the fact that it's down from that isn't terrible. It's the highest ever year open for Tesla. That's pretty good, man. But things are starting to spook. Definitely some markets out there. Let's go look at Apple's kind of up right now. It just gapped up. It's actually work. Oh, Microsoft is definitely what's spooking. It's down 10.8 or 10.9%. Meta's up 8, so that's what we were reading just now. Yeah. Broader context, the Fed held rates steady recently, yesterday, as expected, but markets are digesting ongoing AI hype versus reality checks. Gold continues ripping higher, new records amid geopolitical hedging, which can signal some risk-off vibes, though equities aren't fully following suit. Overall, it's more of a wait-and-see digestion phase with selective pressure on high capex AI plays than a broad market spook. No massive plunge or panic selling evident yet. Futures are edging higher in spots, but volatility could pick up if more earnings or macro data shifts sentiment. So yeah, be a little bit careful out there, guys, as things are starting to come undone a little bit. So don't love this. I definitely want to see that bearish engulfing. We did get a big enough move to take profits. We sold here. This is a target, so you can take profits. And if you're just joining me, this is a live real money account. There's the trade. There's the profits. XMR is pushing also into profits. We got about $875 worth of unrealized gains here. And we're doing okay. Already took profits on Fartcoin yesterday, made $300 of realized P&L. Got another 334 waiting to be taken. But things are looking okay today. Not bad. Not bad. Hopefully hype will continue to roll over. Obviously, because if Bitcoin and other crypto markets do have a serious breakdown, just imagine if you gave back even half of this, right? This was a 50% rally. So if you could give back half of it, that would be a pretty large move. You're looking at 20-some%. And even with this position size, that would equal to be a pretty damn good trade. We could just type that price in, $27, and see what it would do. Yeah, it would generate $1,100. That ain't bad. It ain't gonna happen today. You know what I mean? I don't know that that's gonna happen ever, but I'm not looking for something like this to happen in one day. More or less like next week or the week after, maybe. But it needs to break down below here. Otherwise, this is could still get bought up. So we're not going to toot our horns too much yet. You knew where the profit target was, so you should have executed it. Well, there's the pound yen short we were looking for, missed. So yeah, it's a pretty significant bounce here at the target, which is support. Right? It's above support. You got the prior swing low there and then support there. So the fact that you're bouncing hard before you get there makes sense, right? As that's what we do. We enter and we scale as the price moves in our direction. So that's why you're seeing a significant bounce down here. You have new buyers jumping on and sellers jumping out. It's a good look. Bitcoin is not a good look. That is a sizable move there. So clearly you've stopped out a lot of people that were getting long on the year open, and 2.71%. Damn it. Guys, I tried to make Bitcoin bullish for you. I tried. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I did all I could. I tried to buy it several times. Just did not matter. But yeah, you just smoked December's low. Oh wait, that's not December's low. Sorry. Oh God, thank God. Thank God. At least you haven't done yet. It's not that far away though. It's literally right there. Okay, let's go look at the liquidity. Let's go look at the liquidity charts that everybody loves to look at. We know where all the liquidity is. We don't have to look at this thing to see where the liquidity is, but we'll go look at it and we'll pull up a 6-month chart so we can get a good look. Yeah. So next big chunk of liquidity is right down there at December's low. So it looks like December's low is the downside target. There is a small case that could be made that it bounces there, but I would be taking profits there, not looking to enter longs. Like I would rather be shedding those long or those short positions down in there, but we'll see what happens after that. After that, it's November's low and then April's low. April's low is all the way down to 74K. There really ain't much down there, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Price can break through all of this and keep right on going. It did it here, right? It broke down, bounced, and then boom, see ya. Then it just kept going and going and going, even when there wasn't any liquidity down there. This is fearful selling. This is when you literally have a run on the banks, right? That's what this is. That's what we don't want to see. We don't want to see people just running for the hills on Bitcoin. If they do that, that will cause fearful selling, and fearful selling can't be bought. You got to wait for it to build in a low, build in support, and all that. If you try to buy into fearful selling, you're going to get ran over. Let's go look at long-term holder supply, see if this is still looking okay. I don't see anything to be completely worried yet, but I mean, I can imagine we're probably going to see a little bit of a dip, or maybe they are just accumulating on these lows. It's possible. If I was a billionaire, that's where I'd be buying, on the lows, not on the highs. There are a few other indicators that do not look good. Bitcoin does not look good. Long term, I don't like the chart. Don't love the chart. Because think about it like this. They are like, and when I say they, I don't mean like evil people or anything like that. I just mean like business people, right? People that are in business. If they're trying to squeeze Saylor, they don't have to sell Bitcoin to do it. They can sell MicroStrategy stock. And that could be also what you got going on here. So you got literally a civil war between core devs and between the NOTS community. You have that little bit going on. You also have a potential intervention from the BOJ and the US Fed on the Japanese yen bond yield. You have that. You have Michael Saylor is probably way over his skis long Bitcoin, $57 billion. And big firms know that, we could squeeze him if we want to. So he's kind of put himself in this position. But of course, he won't blame it on himself if he does have to sell Bitcoin. He'll blame it on all of us. He'll blame it on the traders and the speculators. He'll literally blame it on anything except take blame for himself making such a crazy decision. I mean, it worked for a little bit, and I still like Bitcoin long term. I think this soft fork, as long as it is a soft fork and it doesn't change the ticker symbol or anything like that, as long as Bitcoin stays what it is now, but it gets cleaned up, that can be a good thing long term. I do not think the all-time high is in forever. I don't feel like that. But if they squeeze Michael Saylor to where he has to start liquidating, or not just him, his board, like he probably won't want to liquidate, as he just picked up some more Bitcoin the other day. But his board has already stated publicly that if that does happen, they will sell. If they have to, they will. And that, you put all of those things together, that is what you're seeing here. It doesn't look like you have big money partaking just yet, but you will only know that in hindsight. Right now, it looks really, really bad. 2 weeks from today, Bitcoin could be up at 97, 98K again. And then everybody will be acting like they knew that was going to happen, right? Even me. You've made 3 fresh yearly lows at this point. They're not big lows. They're fairly insignificant from one another. So you could be seeing a little bit of accumulation happening. It's how price reacts to levels is basically what I look for. That's how I identify when something's happening. Since price has reacted this way to the yearly opening, it does kind of feel like people are selling more than they are buying. But when people are selling and running for the hills, that is generally speaking the best time to invest in something. Unfortunately, you almost need to wait for those lows before you can get involved. So this is not good. Not good. This chart looks like booty. And not a pretty one either. It looks bad, man. Looks bad. Back in 2024, we had MSTR up at 540. It's down to 140 now. This will be more and more of an opportunity the lower it goes. You're already at 73% off. This could be literally the last bit of risk that you see here. It doesn't feel like it's a sort of a trap, but it could be. But we'll see. If you keep making lower lows and lower highs, then don't be a buyer. You're going to have to wait. I'm not telling you to buy it, but I mean, I won't be a buyer if it keeps making lower highs and lower lows. I'll be a seller. I'll be looking to sell swing highs. I will be a bear. It's very risky to be a buyer down here. I already own some shares. I picked it up when it first hit oversold. And I am going to buy it again because it's been oversold for a while. It can stay oversold, obviously, all the way down to zero, right? But I think it's getting closer to being done than it is. Like, I feel like we're going to rally up to like 250, 220, 250, somewhere in there before it goes lower. But we'll see. It's a nasty looking chart. Very, very nasty. And you consolidated the losses as well. So it looks more like distribution than it does long. Like it's a long, right? So I might get stopped out. I might get stopped out of this. And if I do, it is what it is, right? It's a trade. It's a trade. This is more, for me, a longer term investment. So I am going to pick up more shares if it can get to 90. I already have a standing limit by it down there, but we'll see. And I do want to see what that is. $90 will put it roughly right at about 83.5%. Yeah, that'd probably be the last place that I look to buy. And then I'll have a stop sitting roughly at about 50 to just go ahead and get out of it. It's a relatively small position because if Bitcoin does ultimately do what gold and silver has already done, then I definitely want to own some MicroStrategy for that. Let me show you something here. A lot of people has been comparing Bitcoin to gold, and it's a good thing to compare, right? BTC USD versus XAU USD. It's a good thing to compare because it shows you really what's going on. Like, because gold, everybody looks at gold as money, right? Look where you are right here. Let me pull this up on a monthly chart. So you see this old monthly swing high here? It's not a swing high. It's literally an old resistance place. This could literally be as low as it goes. It might not, but it could be. I'm interested to see what it does here. This is a long-term range. This all-time high of 2021 was breached in 2024, but you didn't really see a large breakout when it comes to Bitcoin versus gold. The reason for that is obviously gold's rally. It's not because Bitcoin is garbage. It's literally because of what gold is doing. So people are looking at this as well. This range is multi-years in length. So to break out with continuation could be massive on this. Could be massive. Now here's the thing, because of how I'm looking at it here, as Bitcoin priced in gold, or priced to gold, not in, but to, essentially, I think it's like 16 ounces to buy a Bitcoin right here. But anyway, if gold rolls over, Bitcoin could go sideways and this chart will float up. This chart will basically fluctuate. Right now, gold is stronger than Bitcoin, so it's going down. If ever that changes, when that changes, when Bitcoin is stronger than gold, this chart will go up. So gold could have a serious correction, and Bitcoin could just slowly grind higher, and you could get a breakout on this. And the breakout could be massive. I always look at Bitcoin versus the dollar. Always. I really don't. I'm never going to be trading gold in to buy Bitcoin or vice versa. I'm never going to be trading Bitcoin in to buy gold, right? I use fiat to buy them both. I want to own both gold and Bitcoin. I want to own silver. I don't own any palladium or any other metals, but gold and silver I own. Physical. Now, I'm not trying to sell them because right now there's a liquidity issue. Even though gold and silver are trading at all-time highs, you're not going to find a buyer that will give you those prices. There's your liquidity issue, right? You can be sitting on 1 million pounds of silver right now. It's not going to do you any good if nobody wants to buy it from you at these prices. And that's what's going on. It's a massive liquidity problem. You couple that with the U.S. government accumulating as much gold and silver as they have been, and the U.S. government back in 2024 made it a precious metal for national defense. Well, this year, China just stopped all exports of silver to any other foreign countries. So you have two of the world's superpowers, the two biggest superpowers, literally hoarding it. They are causing the supply shock. That will get fixed in the future. Most likely, calmer heads will prevail, and when that happens, people are going to realize that silver is way too expensive. So you're likely going to see a pullback. Now, that ain't the normal or even popular thing to say right now. The popular thing to say right now is silver at 400 by next month, even though next month is literally 2 days away. That ain't gonna happen. If it happens, I will be absolutely shocked, mystified, and horrified all at the same time. I've been doing this a while, and it's hard for me to see silver up at $400, especially because silver does have a use case, but it's not as big as people might think. Let's go do this real quick. Let's refresh this chat because I don't want him tying any of my prior questions in with this one. But how much is no, that's not the right way to phrase this question. How big is the silver market when it comes to infrastructure? Let's see what he has to say. Probably spelled infrastructure wrong, but I really don't care. Silver plays a significant and growing role in infrastructure, particularly through its unmatched electrical and thermal conductivity. It's essential in modern electrical systems, renewable energy setups, power grids, charging networks, data centers, and related tech, often grouped under industrial or electronics and electrical demand in market reports. Scale of silver in infrastructure related uses. Total global silver demand was around 1.16 to 1.2 billion ounces in recent years. Those are 2024 figures from the Silver Institute, with industrial applications dominating about 59 to 65% of that. Okay, so it's a lot bigger than I thought it was. Damn. Yeah, well, anyways, since it's that big, can you imagine people that need to buy silver to put it into products? If silver stays at these insane prices, that means they're going to have to jack up the prices on the products that they are selling that has the silver in it in order to offset that loss. They're not going to sell products at a loss for very long. So if silver does accumulate up here, and this is really annoying me because I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and at the same time on the corner of my eye, I see this happening. very annoying. I even had my Discord looking at this morning, hours before we went live. Hopefully one of you guys caught that. I missed it. But anyways, back to silver, why it can't literally be at like $400 an ounce. You're going to have the government step in at some point, right? They'll have to. Or if they don't, like I don't know if this is legal, but if I had $500 billion at my expense or at my where I could use it, I probably would be a seller of silver with a big position. I would be trying to, and I'm sure other business people do that, right? I mean, plenty of people was trying to short Tesla and keep its prices depressed just because they felt like it wasn't a good enough asset or it was trading at too expensive as per what the company does, right? So businesses will step in and start shorting silver at some point to get the prices under control. So, I mean, silver is used more than gold is. Gold is more of a precious metal, more of an investment, long-term investment. Both of them are slow growth commodities. They're not big movers. So silver will eventually, the prices will get back under control. Most likely. I could be 100% wrong in that interpretation, but I feel like it won't be long. It won't be long. Let's go look at yen again and see if it's spiking because something's going on. Yields are down on the 30-year. It is starting to move up now, but it ain't spiking. Actually, it had a big move lower. Oh, this is probably dollar. No, it's not dollar. I don't know what's going on. The dollar is not that. I mean, it did 30 minutes ago, but it's pushing down. Right now, pound yen is getting absolutely murked. So pound yen was the better trade on that. And I absolutely missed it. I fumbled it like a rookie. Fumbled that like a rookie. Oh, speaking of gold and silver, let's go to gold first. There you go. Like I said, eventually these things are going to come off, and they're going to come off with some steam. Now, I missed that too, but maybe you got lucky and nailed the SLV trade that I told you to look at, or what I would have been looking at if I was looking to short it. And there it is, right? That's what we were looking for, a wick into that level and then a rejection. That would have been the entry. So I tried to get it the other day, missed it today, and then it went. Yeah, it's done, most likely. You might get one more slight move higher and then another blow off like that. Eventually it's going to go. It's going to go. That's a big move on SLV. This product on a normal day moves about 50 cents. That's 110 down to 97, 96. Massive move on this asset. Massive. Insane. A 12% move on silver. Unheard of. Crazy, man. Bitcoin is falling now, boys. Starting to really go here. Yeah. Fartcoin all the way down to the year open. Damn, I did not expect Fartcoin getting down there today. Woo-doo. Yeah. Yeah, there goes Mr. Bonksters, Pingu, all of them getting annihilated. Zcash not going anywhere. Hype, what are you waiting on, bro? No, I'm kidding. This thing's gonna go too. Most likely. There goes XMR. Ooh, I should take profits on this. Oh, it's just out of reach to take profits on it. I have to close the whole position. We got $1,035 worth of unrealized profits here. We're gonna let this one play out, see what happens to it long term. Since I've got these two up real nice, I'm just gonna go ahead and close this one as a whole. It's under position, there's no point in taking profits, so I'm just gonna close it, take my 370 bucks and roll. I'm good with that. Made 300 yesterday on Farcoin, good there. So I'll leave that one open to catch any serious downside move, right? Because if you see, like, if exchanges start getting blowed out here, then I definitely want to be holding stuff short, especially crazy ones like Farcoin. So yeah, a little bit of money. You don't need to use a lot of money. You can rack up decent gains on a daily basis as long as you know how to manage risk. You're going to be just fine. Things are starting to cook. Starting to cook. Targeting 1 hour sup on hype for the first take profit. No, I can't remember if it was 4 hour, the current 4 hour swing low. So to answer your question, Alex, when I took the short on hype, it was the first, like, primary take profit place was right here at these lows. You could have taken profits, like a primary take profit here at the open of the prior candle, because we don't know where support is going to be, but we know that it could be here, either one of these two places. This is the range to beat. So if it breaks down, then we'll be good. We don't know that breakdown is going to happen. So when you take profits like this, you're taking the setup up here. You generally, if you're positioned correctly, the position size is correct, then you should be able to start scaling out after just a 3.5% move in your direction. It doesn't necessarily have to be a level, any level in particular. It definitely needs to be way above the day low. So here's the day open. This is the low of day. For it to get down there, it would have to be really bearish. We're not anticipating that. We just want to get it here, and we're willing to take profits down here. The prior 4 hour open, and that would have been a 5.88% move. You see that? That's what we're looking to do. We're looking to do that consistently and often. And as long as we can do that, we can grow our accounts so damn fast. Over time, it just starts growing. But it's still bullish here. With everything else melting the way it is, it's kind of concerning. But yeah, it was a good move. You should have been scaled out already. We did get a lower low. 31.85, 31.79. So that is a lower low. So that's good. We do have a bearish engulfing right now. With 6 minutes to go, it would feel a lot better if this candle closed down here. The fact that it's bouncing so hard, it's kind of worrisome. So literally, we took the entry on the live stream on the one asset that ain't getting absolutely murked, and everything else is. Funny how that works. Yeah, that's a good move on Farcoin. Just from where I'm going to use the open, because there's no way in hell I would have shorted it there. I wouldn't have shorted it at the open either, not with the low of day being right here. But if you did randomly, that was a 5% move. So the crypto market looks bad over here. Dominance is weak. ETH is down 6.3. BOEM is down 10. Zcash down 5. XMR down 7. STG down 2, Farcoin down 10 almost, Bonk down 7. Pingu down 9, Hype down 5, Dash down 6, Litecoin down 6, Tau down 8, so on and so forth. Everything is getting absolutely murked. VIX is up 20. Well, 21, if you round up. Yeah, even all these stocks are down. GLD's down 4%. USDJPY, which was moving higher, is now rolling over. Which one is it? Is it this one? Whew. Starting to go now. Yeah, I would almost... This has to be yen strength. I'm looking at delayed data over here. That's what it is. Yeah, it's yen strength. Yen strength is coming back into the market. That's what's going on with all the yen pairs. So remember how I said we were looking at CAD yen yesterday to be a trap? Trap set. This thing is just going to keep paying. There's no way I'm closing this trade now. No way in. Nope. I'm looking for at least a month, next month, of downside continuation, and even a month after that, hopefully. I hope this thing just goes down for 2 straight months. This is a fresh breakdown here. We want to see that continue. It has not been able to do that for a long time, so we'll see if it can. But yeah, we're looking good. We're positioned right. So right now, Hype is testing what I would want to be resistance. So I would definitely want to see this act and hold as resistance. So if you're still if you didn't, I mean, I don't know if I would here or not. I don't like that spike, but hopefully it's just a spike for sellers to jump onto, knowing that this one hasn't been killed yet. So there's a lot of juice on this lemon left to squeeze still. So hopefully the sellers realize that and come over here and get this one. But yeah, this is where I want to see resistance hold for sure. Bitcoin going to 60. It's possible. What's happening? Gold, silver, spaz, Nas, Bitcoin all down. Yep. Hindsight trading. Love it. Yep. I don't do that. I put positions on with you. I don't know what you're referring to. Maybe it's because I said hindsight trading or something. I don't know. You've been here before, so you definitely know we don't do hindsight stuff over here. I'm trying to help you guys learn it, so it doesn't really help. Hindsight stuff sucks because you can always find good setups in hindsight. However, you can't see the setup before the setup is there, right? You have to learn how to identify that setup before it happens. We were short on the dollar at December's open this month. When the dollar tested the December open, that's where we took the short. It's simply because if the trend was going to continue, that would be the place for it to do that. And that's literally where it rolled over. That's not hindsight. That's literally where we said to look for the short. At the December open. Yesterday when I was live for the community, the short is on Bitcoin, the December open. If it's going back lower, the December open. That's literally where it rolled over yesterday. Right here. So we don't do hindsight stuff very often. If we do it, it's just to help you start to see the setup. Knowing what's going to happen after the setup gets there, that's up to the rest of the world and time to decide. But I mean, that's a serious breakdown today. A lot of people were buying the year open. They were looking for the bulls to win, and they didn't. They've literally been smoked now. They could still come in and accumulate this over time, and it could still go up. Just because you're losing the year open doesn't mean it's going to keep going down. However, it definitely shifts my focus to the bearish side of the trade. We were definitely bearish coming into today. There was no doubt about it. Every position I had open was red, a short. So yeah, what was here? This was Fart Coin. Let's get it pulled back up. That's a good close too for downside continuation. Today could get a lot worse. It looks bad now. It could get a lot worse. We don't want it to get a lot worse. Bitcoin's down 5. We don't want it to get a lot worse, but it could. You could see 2 more continuation candles. They probably won't be as big as this one, but you could still get more downside today. I wouldn't be opening a fresh short down here, but could work, I guess. So we did get our 4-hour close here on Hype, and it's not one I love. I want to be honest with you. This is a bearish engulfing. It closed bearish, but that is a rejection on the lows. I don't like that. Hopefully this candle gives us the breakdown move. We got 4 more hours for that. So yeah, I don't like this. Hopefully this is just an emotion candle, like a bullish engulfing as support to pull in emotional buyers who think it's going higher. Hopefully that's what's going on here, and it ain't just real buyers. Yeah, there's a lot of risk out there right now. A lot of risk. Risk is everywhere. Silver, man. That's a big move. I mean, I've been screaming it from the rooftops, guys. You don't want to buy a 95 RSI, especially on the month. Last time it got up here, it was boom, done. It's literally been done every single time it's gotten up into this area. Every single time in history you get above 85, you are buying highs. This was 95. That is the worst place to be a buyer. It's also, as we found out this week, not a great place to be a seller with physical silver. It's a great place to be a seller if you're holding paper, because you can get out easily with paper. You never, ever, ever want to buy that. But people were, and now they're going to wish they didn't. It's a midpoint check, and it happened in one straight line. Let's go look at this. The reason we started looking for the short up here was a fib extension. I'll put that on the chart if you want me to. Show you how I found that level, but this was the level. It was here where we first started looking for the short, because it was a 1.618 extension of last month's range. But yeah, brutal. That's your entire weekly range. entire weekly range. So what is that? 30 minutes? Yeah, an hour. In 1 hour, you retraced the 786 fib of the weekly range. Damn. On a Thursday. It's been going up all week. That is blow off like. That is blow off like. This is the midpoint here. I wouldn't doubt it even a little bit if the sellers came in here and started hitting it there. I mean, it would be so risky to try to catch this short right now. But let's pull it up. Let's see what we can do here. Give me 1 second. Bullsh. I don't believe you. Okay, so what's wrong? All right, I see what's wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's very risky. Of course. Why are you coming back over here? Could you please get back over where you're supposed to be? Don't make me tell you again. All right, so SLV. I'm gonna go out 36 days. That's March 6th expiration. The puts are extreme. They're a lot wider than they were the other day, and they're very much more expensive than they were the other day. Oh my goodness, look at the prices on these puts. This far out in time, which isn't far, it's only a month and 6 days. These options usually trade at like $1.50, $1.70 on this product. They're trading at the money at $13.20. So you're paying a massive premium if you're trying to buy puts and make money on SLV. A massive premium. You should do it via a spread to offset some of that premium. So we were looking at the other day pretty close to this same thing. I would do something like this or a little bit more narrow. Even then, the premiums are nasty. This should be massively skewed to a better risk to reward. Massively skewed to, like, you should, this is you're looking at a 109 IV. The IV on this 2 days ago was 94. My goodness. It's going to be difficult to make money on options because of the premium. The premiums are so jacked up right now. They're so expensive. Yeah, Bitcoin's pushing even lower. But this one ain't. So literally got short the wrong one. It might not be the wrong one. It might break down later on today. It might take a little bit of time, but we'll see. Let me see here. What would you do if you had held a good amount of physical silver and gold? Well, I did last year. I started liquidating it. I started liquidating it as it traded up into the highs. So gold had already broken out. Gold was already making fresh all-time highs, but I started liquidating. I didn't liquidate all of my silver and gold, just some of it to make room So that way, when it sets a higher low sometime in the future, maybe I can start buying more. But I'm going to wait for a long-term accumulation zone, like months and months and months. Then I'll start buying more and more silver. But not up here. No way. I started selling my silver at anywhere between 40 and 50 and 60 bucks. I started selling it. So some people might think that's dumb, but I bought it way cheaper than that. So it was a very good trade. I had no way of knowing that silver was going to break out and hit $100. Nobody did. So I put on a very good trade. I would have already been doing it. You want to sell into the highs. As you start breaking out and you start making highs, you want to sell into that. Especially if it starts a FOMO scenario. You definitely need to start getting, or I do, right? I start getting out whenever you're breaking out to the highs. You can do whatever you want, and you can even hire someone to tell you what to do. A licensed money manager, but for me, I'm exiting on highs as we're trading up into the highs, similar to what I did with the short today, right? As it's starting to move in my direction, I'm exiting. I'm not trying to catch the very top and the very low, right? There's no way I'm going to know where that is, ever. There's no indicator that you can look at. There's indicators that you can look at that can tell you now would be a good time to start exiting. And that's an RSI. You don't need any other indicator. It's the best. It's the best. There are several indicators that will tell you when it's time to start getting out. If you're in a short, then obviously when you start hitting oversold, you should be bailing. You should be taking profits. When you buy a product, when it hits overbought, you should be selling. You want to look to be a buyer when it's oversold, sell it when it's overbought. You buy low, sell high. You don't wait for the highest high, because then it's too volatile. You start scaling out. Scale out. That's the right way to do it. If you own a lot of silver, it could be weeks before the buyers of silver start buying again. They're definitely going to wait till some of this volatility gets extracted out of the market. So you're going to have to wait. Most likely with a 109 IV, you're going to be hard pressed to find a buyer. And the reason for that is because those buyers, whether it's a pawn dealer, a pawn shop owner, or a legitimate, gold and silver distributor / buyer, like all the we buy precious metal people, the best you're ever going to get from them people are 3% behind spot. And that's only when IV, the implied volatility, is low. When the IV goes up, they go way back. So if the IV is normal, you can get anywhere between 3 and 5% off of spot, behind spot. So if I'm selling at $50, spot prices are at 50, I'm selling it, it's going to be 3% or 4% lower than that, which isn't that bad. Not if you think about it, right? So let's just go to 50 real quick, and let's just back it off 3 to 5%. So here's 3. So it's at 50, you can get it, you can sell it like $48. So you're losing $2 an ounce. That's not terrible. So why they're not buying now is because they have to turn around and sell it, because they're only getting a certain price too, right? They don't get like a specific price always. They gotta sell bulk to make that 2-3%. That's their profit margin. So they're backing off 3 to 5%. They're buying it from you. Then they're turning around and selling it to somebody else at market value. So if he buys all your silver at 121, he then has to be able to sell it at 125 to make a profit. That's why they won't buy it right now. Or if they do, it'll be way lower. I saw some people saying on X that they were coming off 20 and 30% off a spot. That's the only way they would buy it. And let's not even use that. Let's just use this price here, right? The 117. So 20% off of spot. That's roughly right here. So people were trying to sell it for 117. They were only getting 90. And that was top of the line. Like, I'm not giving you no more than 90 because they have to turn around and sell it instantly while it's up here high and volatile. Nobody wants to do that. It's too big of a risk. So they quit buying. And now you're left with a wheelbarrow full of metal that nobody wants to buy, or they will buy, they just won't give you what it's worth. That's a very big issue. Very big issue. So some people would probably say that it's better to own the metal. You're going to find other people that think it's better to own the paper. I don't know. I don't care. I don't own any paper. I just own the metal. But I don't care. I'll sit on my metal for the next 15 years. It's not like I eat it. I definitely don't build anything with it, so I'll just leave it where it's sitting. When the volatility calms down, then I'll sell some more. But I want to sell that when the IV's low, as I can get top dollar for it. My guy that I deal with, he'll go down as low as 3, usually. But right now, even he won't buy it. He won't touch it. I wouldn't touch it. If that's what I did for a living, if I drove my car around, went buying up all these, because every day in normal day, like every normal day life, you have gold and silver buyers. They drive around. That's what he does. He'll meet me anywhere I want to go. He'll bring the cash or a check. He's a reputable company, so I trust him, and we'll have a nice cheeseburger together, laugh and joke about what happened, and he'll take my silver, I'll take his check. He's not buying gold and silver right now. He just ain't. So you're going to probably have to sit on it, or you're going to take a massive haircut. It's your choice. Obviously, it's yours. But you should have been exiting already. I mean, you had plenty of time. Plenty of time. Now it's crazy. But with everything that's going on, if the governments keep doing what they're doing, it might not be a blow off top anytime soon. You might just get a real volatile asset. So it could keep going up, but that indicator is definitely overbought. It is literally the highest I've ever seen it. There's only one time in history where it got this volatile before. Right here. You're right in the same spot, pretty much. You are massively overcooked here. And on the daily, it's terrible. It's been hitting overbought for a long time. And the weekly is literally hit overbought back here at 30. 37, you started to hit overbought. So this is crazy. Crazy town. Yeah, it is super volatile. Let's go back to SLV though. I'm interested to see if it rolls over at the midpoint of the weekly range. Because I didn't get the trade off. I sent it. I never caught the fill. Not really. Man, hype is freaking looking like it wants to stop me out. I don't like this look on hype. Bitcoin might be done going lower for the day. We'll see. Hopefully things don't get much worse. I mean, it's already pretty bad. Bitcoin's down 5.10%. It's bad. Bitcoin hasn't seen a 5% day in a while. SLV, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if this marks the top. It might not because it's so volatile. But damn. Yeah, that's such a big move. I was like just up to the next fib is a 1.68% move. So silver SLV is literally trading like a shitcoin right now. Yeah, that's a 2% move. Oof. So if you come up short here, you could get hammered pretty hard on a stop because one 5-minute candle could get back up there. All right, like if it doesn't roll over here, you could get right back to there in no time. It's volatile, guys. Be careful if you're trading it. Hype is literally looking like it's going right back up. So it might want to liquidate the high of day before it rolls over. I'm going to keep this on watch. I won't be shorting it or taking any entries above the high of day today. But if it fails, I will. So yesterday's high is right there. So if it gets above the day's high, it's probably going to yesterday's high. Yeah, I'm hoping it's just rolls over here and starts to puke, but it doesn't look like it is. The thing with hype that you have to be careful with is the company it's an exchange, right? They charge trading fees. It's an exchange, so that's how they make their money. And what they do, or what they did, basically to give the hype token pumpamentals, if you would call them that, like a fundamental reason to be a buyer on hype, is because they take their trading profits and profits from fees, and then they rebuy with a portion of those profits. They rebuy the token. So that's what you could see happening here. Like the company could have started repurchasing their tokens, especially since they were so cheap. The cheapest they ever were last week, down at $21. If I was the guy, if I was the company CEO, that's when I would have told the people to go ahead and start buying up while you can, because we're at the lowest prices ever. And that sparked this giant move, and that thus created FOMO buying. So that's what's going on. That could be what's going on here, and that could be why it isn't rolling over. So I would love to see some kind of weakness show up pretty soon. I didn't even look at the funding rate because I kind of felt like this it's not a shit coin. It's an actual token with real use case and real value, right? It's got actual value. Excuse me. Choking on my nicotine pouch. It's got actual value. So the funding rate never does get that blown out, but it is paying the longs right now, but it's a very cheap amount. It's 0.009, but it is paying the longs. So whenever the funding rate switches to pay the longs, that means there's more selling happening than buying, usually, because they shift the funding rate to entice longs, right? Whenever whenever the sellers are paying the longs, it's because there's so much selling pressure in the asset they want to entice those buyers to step up. So that's why funding rates shift. That's how they keep everything on an even keel. The more sell side pressure that comes into an asset, the higher and higher that goes. And sometimes it gets so freaking high that it's worth it just to be a buyer, just to generate the funding fees. I love when that happens because you don't even need the market to go in your direction. It could just stay sideways and you can generate nice revenues on insane high funding fees. I've done it many times. It's a very, very, very interesting place, the crypto market. But yeah, the funding rates aren't very high on hype. So we'll see what it does. I kind of hoped it would have broke down with Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. It might be tomorrow or the day after. And that's only if Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market keep going lower. They've already been pretty much beat up. So the fact that this thing is still chopping around up at the day high, it's a little worrisome. Yeah, you're above the midpoint. Not great. The midpoint is just the middle of the daily range. That's not great. And you can see how you haven't taken out yesterday's high or low. So today you're just an inside day candle. You always want to take profits before the prior day low when you're trading as an inside day. This is very bullish, bullish, bullish. So any pullback into this area would be a buying opportunity for people that think it's going much higher, right? So it causes these intraday bounces. It causes intraday price action to be chaotic and impossible to read. That's why this was where we wanted to scale out. If we got the move below that 4-hour open, then we would be scaling out as it pushed lower down to the prior low. That will also spark what looks like buying pressure because you have new demand coming into the market from shorts getting closed. Those are going to be a very small portion of the orders, though. There's not a lot of scalping funds out there. There are a few, but there's not, like, the markets aren't controlled by them. That's for sure. But yeah, shorts getting closed is going to spark that demand. Yeah, silver is extremely volatile. It's chopping back and forth 1%, between 1 and 2%. It's a big move. Let's see if we can see any massive volume here. Not that kind of volume. I don't know why that's even on my chart. Get off. We don't look at volume by time ever. Okay, so since the smallest volume node in the day is here, that would be a better selling opportunity than down here. So I will try the short there. I'm going to go ahead and set it up, though, on a spread trade. 98 is down near the low of day. Probably don't want to go that low. I definitely don't want to give them $13.60 for an option that usually trades at like a couple bucks. So I definitely have to do a spread. Yeah, let's put a little bit more risk on it. Let's get it. Let's see if we can generate about $300 worth of profit. So I'm gonna do a $7 wide spread, but the strikes aren't set in stone yet. So basically what I mean is if this moves up into the 104 spot, then I want to sell, or I want to buy the 104 strike put, and then I want to sell 7 points lower. So if I did that right now, actually it wouldn't be the 107, I would do the 105. Oh, sorry. It's 104 spot 17. I would probably buy the 102s and then sell the 95s or the 96s. So I'm basically just looking for silver to roll over from 94 and go down to 90 or 104 down to 96. But I'm doing it with 36 days. So that gives the trade time. So I'm wanting to see it roll over here because of this very small volume node. So price can tag this and then start to reject. I can fire that trade off and then give it time. But if it is done, it'll probably roll over soon, right? If it continues to push, it ain't done. And I don't want to be short. I only want to short it if I think it's pretty much cooked. I don't really want to short it unless it's cooked, because you're just going to get ran over. That's a big drop, but it could go right back up there. We'll give it time. We'll see what happens. Copper ETF looks bullish. Thoughts on copper? All metals, especially if it's a commodity, is going to be bullish. So you want futures? That'll be HG because it's high grade. I don't have yeah, this looks like a blow off. It's obviously breaking out here. You're at all-time highs, or at least for data going back to 1998. This is an all-time high. And what was your question? It looks bullish. Yeah, it has been pretty damn bullish for a while. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Would I buy it at 612? No, absolutely not. Nope. Is that per pound? I mean, that's crazy talk. $6 a pound for copper. Yeah, copper sweet spot is like between $1 and $2. You're talking $6. That's a 300% move. Definitely would not want to be a buyer. I mean, that's 144, 150% move off of the 259. It's not a good buy here. Now, does that mean, I don't know that it's going to keep going up or if it's going to go down. But I can look at my weekly oscillator, the RSI, and it literally tells me it isn't a buy. You can see where the good buying opportunities happened, right? So yeah, it's very bullish because it has a lot of bullish momentum right now. But the best places to buy is at support. We never know where the support is going to be. But 40, that's a good spot to start looking to be a buyer on the weekly RSI. And then obviously oversold is also a really good place to start looking to be a buyer. That's what I look for. That's why I bought MicroStrategy, because it's oversold. It can stay oversold for a long time though and keep going lower. I know that. I understand that. I'm more than okay with that. But I know long term, that's where I want to be a buyer, not at overbought. It's the exact opposite place to be a buyer. But yeah, I mean, can it sustain this breakout? Only time will tell. So if you're just scalping it, like if you're not looking for a longer term investment, if you're just looking for day trades, then maybe you can be a buyer, but it's looking like it's pretty cooked too, right? Like it looks similar to gold and silver today. So it looks like a lot of things are coming off. If silver and gold does come off even harder, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin isn't putting in a low right now or getting closer to being a low. So here's December's low. Let me make sure I got that right. Yeah, that's December's low there. That could be a buying op. You're massively oversold here on the 4 hour. You're oversold on the 8 hour. Remember, they can stay oversold a lot longer. You're under the 40. So clearly it's more bearish because you did get a full-on rotation here where you were oversold and then it migrated all the way back to overbought before it rolled over again on the daily chart. That puts you a buyer in this day, anywhere in this range, even if you just bought the open. Had you just bought oversold and sold overbought, you made money. This indicator, it does not get enough respect. People want to look at more crazy indicators, and it's just like this indicator is perfect. It's one of the best. So Bitcoin's getting closer and closer to being a buy. It's almost oversold on the weekly. But there is a lot of uncertainty on Bitcoin right now. Lots. So I don't know if I want to get it at the December low or just wait for it to get oversold. Because you're breaking down. Last week's close was bad. It was a break down below support. You closed under that lowest close there. So we really wanted this to be a trap this week. But it wasn't. It was an absolute beautiful, perfect short side setup. So this is a continuation move now. There's your breakdown. Here's your continuation. You'd be hard pressed to get me to buy it. I'd probably wait for it to get oversold. It didn't get oversold back here, but you didn't have this much uncertainty as you got now. MicroStrategy's looking rough. That's where I'm most concerned about Bitcoin. I'm most concerned that MicroStrategy has to start liquidating, and that causes a nasty move. Because they own so much of it, they were controlling the market. It took so much time for the sellers to actually get it down. And now every single time they get a bullish pop, it gets any kind of momentum at all, it gets faded. It's usually not a good look. We wanted it to bounce, it just couldn't. But it's definitely not time for fresh shorts. Not the way that I look at the markets. JPM pulling a Hunt's Brothers, locked up their silver right before the rally. Yeah, that's also going to cause some demand. Or it's going to be a supply shock. 76K looks tasty. 69K is the top of the weekly block. I don't know what you mean by top of the weekly block, unless you're just calling a candle a block. I don't know if you're referring to ICT's order blocks or what you're talking about. I mean, that's an order block, right? A demand candle. What I call demand, he calls order block, I think. I don't know. The guy had his chance to like open up a public trading account and he didn't even have to win the competition. He just needed to make money. He couldn't even do that. So I don't understand why so many millions of people want to use those terms, but whatever. What I'm concerned about really, bro, is this April low. Like this low right here. This is November's low. You just took out December. No, I moved that. So December's low is first, then this low. It's getting so close to that. It's almost at this point like you would have to wait, right, for it to get there. So it looks like a continuation move. You've got 2 days left on this monthly close, and if you close under December's low, you're a bearish engulfing on the close. That puts November's low back into the target, or at least the next place to look for support, and under that is April's low right here. So these are your 3 key areas. And if a cascading selling event starts, it's not going to matter. Technical analysis isn't going to work. Smart money concepts won't work, right? Because no matter what anybody wants to think, it is just another trading strategy that uses technical analysis. It's just another technical analysis trading strategy. Smart money concepts. It's not smart money concepts, it's just what they call it. Smart money don't look at technicals that often. When they're ready to buy, they buy. They don't give a shit. They have a price in mind, and when it hits that price, they buy. Now, sometimes we can look at stuff and see where that happens. So, I get it. It's December's low for me. Under the open, it's the low. I can't operate inside of it. As long as it's inside of it, I have no edge. But as long as it's under, I do. I'd be looking for bearish trades up here if it rejects there. It's getting oversold. It's getting a little bit too oversold for me. But we'll see, right? It can get way oversold if it gets real bad. Hopefully it don't. Oh, tech come off hard. That's after a fresh breakout. So you put in a bear trap here, broke out to the upside. I thought you were going to see an upside break on tech. Microsoft come out and with bad earnings. So like you can see where technical analysis didn't work there. This is a breakout after setting in a bear trap. But these buyers that got lucky and got in here, they were taking profits on this run anyway. That's where I would have been scaling out as well if I would have bought it. I like to scale out above highs or going into highs. If this is a bad earnings report, we'll see if it's like if they don't try to say something in the future about, oh, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We'll see. But right now, tech's taking a beating, or at least not tech, but Microsoft. Meta's up. So Meta's having a good day, even though everybody else is not. It gapped up strong on earnings. Microsoft, that's where your loser is. That's what's dragging the risk markets down. It says they beat on earnings. So they did beat on both top and bottom lines, and it's still getting absolutely annihilated. Do you see what I see? Like, that would have been a beautiful short setup. Sell 484. It's under. It's retesting it. It could be resistance. That would have been an absolute perfect trade idea. And now you have a fresh year low. There was the year low. You're making a fresh one now. Damn. Got hammered. Where's Apple at? Apple will be interesting if it gets back up there and does the same thing. I don't know that you will get back up there. Apple got pretty beat up this month. Nice recovery though. You did take out 2 weeks worth of highs. That's where resistance showed up at. So it does appear that it wants to go lower. See, Nvidia, I got a long-term put on Nvidia already. I did it at the beginning of the year, or late at the end of last year, like almost here. I'll tell you exactly when I put it on. It's been open 59 days, so about midway through December, I put on an Nvidia long-term put. I actually put on the same trade that Michael Burry did, because it only costed $60 to put the trade on. So even if that option expires worthless, I'm only gonna lose $60. If Nvidia crashes, then I'll make a shitload of money on $60. Not bad. So it's worth it to just put it on. It's a YOLO trade, but I still got 351 days left on that premium. So I don't have to rush this, but I like this reaction right here. So for me, as long as you're trading under 189.77, I would have a bearish bias on Nvidia. Yeah, that's exactly what I'd be looking for. Look at how beautiful that little liquidation happened, and so far you've got a negative reaction from that. Now, you already did that once, but to be fair, you're back there again. So it doesn't look like a good sell, but they're beating it back down today. So I could use daily supply zone here as that last line in the sand for me to take a short like an intra-week scalp on Nvidia. If it retests 191, that's as high as I need it to go. I can enter shorts here, but if we're closing daily candles back above 191.27, I have to exit that short. So now all I need to do is just get the risk adjusted to where it makes sense to put it on, right? So I might do something like that if it feels like we're going to see more risk off in the overall market, because Nvidia hasn't really been able to do anything for a long time here. Now this could be accumulation. That's where the issue is. If it's being bought up, then it's probably going back to the highs. So this is the highest you've been able to get all year, and it's a rejection right now. We don't want to see it slowly start to go back up there, right? Because if it is, then it ain't done. Then it feels more like buying pressure and a breakout's coming. Let's look at. Yeah, you're still very bullish here. So it would be a very early short. Nvidia don't have earnings until February, late February. Oh, if Nvidia comes out with bad earnings, that would not be good. Nvidia is the biggest company in the world right now. At these prices. Google's been doing absolutely phenomenal. I need a pullback and a long-term consolidation before I can buy Google again. Meta's interesting, but I don't know. Can't really do anything with last month's level or last year's levels. Let's get rid of those. We're in a new year, new everything. on Meta. I don't want to put an alert out. Yeah, you're a bullish engulfing here. Tomorrow's the close. Excuse me. Where's December's high? Ugh. I don't like a short on this as long as it's trading above December's high. If we lose December's high, then maybe somebody could trade it for a potential gap fill, but I don't love those kind of trades myself. Netflix is getting close to being a buy again. $82.11, $81.93. So you've already liquidated that low. And it wasn't a really strong bullish reaction either. So obviously they're not done selling Netflix yet, but Netflix is getting really, really close to being a buy. Because Netflix don't own $57 billion worth of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So Netflix is getting really close to being a buy. I mean, I could start go ahead and buy it. Like, I just wish I would. It's hard to make that financial decision right now when the markets are at all-time highs. I want to know what's going on here. It's not just the split, or it could be, right? Investors that have been early in the Netflix, they were selling it at $1,300 a share. They were just taking profits, maybe allowing the split to happen, give it some time, let it form a longer term bottom, and then look to be a buyer. But I don't think I could wait longer than a couple months. So if we start chopping sideways down here and like building in a longer term monthly range, I definitely would be a buyer, or I will be a buyer in the future. Hopefully cooler heads will prevail and everything goes back to normal. I like Netflix down here. I just not sure if the lows are in yet. It feels like it. Or they're getting closer to being in. Let's go get a historical data set. So we know, right? We know that it has been oversold on the monthly before. But it doesn't happen all the time. Here was a period in time when it got down into the 40s. So maybe we wait for that. If we get a breakdown. If we don't get a breakdown, I'll probably start going ahead and buying some. Like just buying some here, buy some there. And at the price, it really don't matter to me. Like as long as it's close to here, I can make that longer term buy. I mean, you don't have bullish divergence yet, but it's building in here. I would like to see that on the weekly. We still got some time. You got bullish divergence here on MicroStrategy. So a lot of people are seeing this fresh breakdown and thinking that the world is going to an end, and this literally could be the freaking lows. Literally, you have a lower low, and most likely, because tomorrow's the close, most likely you're going to have a lower close. And this is the close to beat. And you can see that you're starting to build in that divergence. So maybe not this week, maybe not next week, but eventually this thing is going to be more of a buy than a sell, unless obviously it keeps just breaking down, because then something tragic is happening. They're trying to squeeze Michael Saylor. If this bullish divergence builds in for a while, like for the next few weeks, this is going to be a buy for me. Our XMR trade worked out. We already closed that one, took the trade off completely. This one is not working, guys. So I have to ask myself why. I've been in it for a while now. We got in it early this morning, 9 o'clock. We've been sitting in it for almost 3 hours. It has not worked yet, though it's starting to feel like it isn't going to. So make sure you set your stops if you took this and did not scale out on that lower push. And when it hit, take profits. If you didn't take profits, make sure you put a stop loss up there, as something feels off here. It should already have been heading lower, especially since. So your POC migrated back down to here. Remember earlier this morning it migrated up for us. Then it traded down to here, and then it migrated back down. So it's going to take some time to suss this range out. It's still in price discovery. And I don't want to get ran over, so I'm going to set a stop loss. I'll keep it on watch, because if the crypto market does start to experience more lows, then I do like this one to roll over. But I'm not going to just keep throwing random trades out on it. I'll wait until I get a good signal. A good signal would be another 4-hour breakdown like this one. So you've got 3 hours left on this candle. As long as it's not back up to the highs, it still could roll over. Because this lower close, what it did is it made, right now, as of right now, you have not closed a 4-hour candle back above 4-hour supply yet. So I'm not going to bounce on it, but I'm telling you, it doesn't feel like it's going to work. So definitely set stops. But in 3 hours, if this candle doesn't hit that high and then ends up closing lower, then I'm not getting out of it. I'll keep it open. But if it does make a higher high, it's going to stop me out. Because that's where my stop is. High day. Because if it takes out today's high, it's going up there to take out tomorrow's. There's no point in setting in a loss from here to up here. I'll just wait for it to get up there and then wait and see what happens there. Throw a short on there, maybe. Yeah, if it liquidates today's high, it's liquidating tomorrow's high, most likely. They're so close. It's a double top. But I would have loved to see that weakness continue, and it just didn't. It like said, nuh-uh, and reversed. Same thing it did down here last time. So you're definitely in price discovery here. Shorted it for the breakdown, and we did not get that. The fart coin short still open, still looking good too. So there's no reason for me to trade this one. I mean, close this one. I got nice profits on it, and my unrealized gains are real good here, down here as well. I want to hold Farcoin to see if it does in fact break down later on today and give us more downside push. You might not see that. Only time will tell. your lowest daily close in this region is 84.6. So we did look at the indicator that shows where liquidation levels are. Remember, I said December's low is where the last bit of liquidity is. This indicator hasn't been refreshed yet. We've already taken out December's low. This is December's low right here. So you can see how the liquidity starts to get thicker and thicker the further you go in time. So that's where the last big chunk of liquidity was sitting. So if I refresh it, you're going to see that candle go down through there, and now new liquidity building up. So let's refresh it and go out 6 months again. So it didn't take it out. It just peeked right into it a little bit. It hasn't taken it all out yet. Where is it all smoked? 83,057. Okay, let's look at the liquidation map, because to me, this is better. This, to me, is just better than... What was I looking at? I was looking at 6 month. That's this. Okay. Yeah, so this is all that down there. All of this stuff down here, that's all of that what we just looked at. Then it does pretty much drop off. Now the liquidity is much more skewed to the upside. Because if you go to this last bar and go one bar further, right here, that's $2.73 billion worth of potential liquidity. Because it's just an indicator. It's not an actual stat. We don't know for certain how much is there. They're using past orders to dictate these bars and these numbers. It's just an indicator. But 2.73 billion roughly down to 81,515. So if you go to same distance, like equidistant away, it's about the same, right? 250, 270. So right now you're setting at 85.4. So just make it easy and go to 84 right there, $3 billion. And then we'll go up to 90.4. That's equidistance. 2.53 billion. So there still is a slight skew to the downside. There's still more liquidity down below price than there is equidistance above. But eventually you're going to get that stuff if it keeps going lower. And then what? Does it bounce? And how high? That's what you're going to have to dictate as a trader. You're going to have to figure all that out. But 81 just happens to be, or $80,400 just happens to be November's low. So we still haven't smoked December's low. And if we close under that, this is the next best spot to look for a bounce. If it just blasts through and continues to push, you're not trying to buy into that, because that is fearful selling. It's not just a liquidity run. If it's just a liquidity run, we anticipate the liquidity run to happen, and then price goes back up into November's range, which is just above November's low, right? So the scalp would be to anticipate a liquidation break, buy that swing low, and scalp it, take profits as it trades back up into November's range. If it blasts through and you just keep getting lower daily close after lower daily close, then that is literally people getting out. They're bailing. They're saying, sayonara, I'm out, I'm done. And then we can't just buy the low, anticipating that liquidation to happen, because it's legit sell side pressure. So I mean, it's a bad down day. I hope it doesn't get much worse than it already has, but you did not take out December's low yet. And it just feels like that would almost be a for sure thing at this point. It's very difficult to trade it when it's choppy like this. I'm not even going to joke around. It is. This is why I've been selling other things instead of Bitcoin. They move more too, though. Even today, Bitcoin's down 4.7% right now. XMR is down 5 still. And then Fartcoin, the other one we're short, it's still down 7. So it's still down a lot more than Bitcoin is. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to extract as much profit as we can out of this market. So yeah, we'll see what it does, but I don't like it under the yearly open. I don't like it. I sold half my silver last Friday for $114. Nice. Sounds like you got lucky. I'm constantly thinking about selling the rest as well. Well, if you do, call the same person, because my guy would not buy your silver. You got really lucky. Got lucky. Yeah, call that same guy. Ask him if he's still in the market for some silver. For sure. If someone is selling because they're accumulating, then maybe they don't have a problem giving you 3% back of spot. But it's hard for me to imagine that there's some dealer out there, some random somebody that said, yeah, sure, I'll buy all your silver and give you top dollar prices when IV is blowed out. It's not a normal scenario. You are one of the very few. And it also kind of depends on how much, right? If it's like a couple coins, sure, I'll give you top dollar price for it. If it's 1,000 ounces, no, I'm not buying it at $114. That's $100,000 position that I just took in silver at the all-time highs. Not happening. But yeah, I mean, I know how the market works. Trust me. I've been dealing in gold and silver for a long time. The buyers in the Netherlands always buy. I sold with 13% above spot. I don't see how you're getting it above 13% above spot. That whoever you're selling it to, it's probably a state mandated thing. You're not getting that in America. And unfortunately, I live in America, which I'm not selling. I'm not selling any more of my silver, not anytime soon. I've already liquidated what I wanted to liquidate. I did that last year. So I'm golden. I'm in wait for it to accumulate sideways for a couple years and buy more, right? That's what I'm waiting on. I think gold and silver will always be a decent investment, especially with inflation. It just makes sense. And inflation is never going to stop, ever. And when I say inflation, I mean the devaluing of the dollar, of course. I don't mean a rising CPI number. I'm talking about government's inability to stop spending trillions of dollars that they don't have. That is never going to stop, because as soon as they stop doing that, that's when the country goes into pain, and no politician is willing to do that. None. They're all in it for themselves, and they want for everybody to feel good, and they want to keep the wool pulled over everybody's eyes, right? But yeah, I mean, so like in China, those guys are also getting above spot, but it's because of a government subsidy. That's not the same thing. That's your government is trying to accumulate all the silver. That's why they're giving you above spot prices. That is different. That's different. I'm talking about people in America calling up their gold or silver dealer. Those guys. They're not being mandated by the government to buy all the gold and silver from the retail market. Therefore, there is no subsidy. Now, if the U.S. does attach a subsidy, then obviously, hey, they will do it, right? As long as the government guarantees they can generate a profit, they will do it. Yeah, I for a second there, I thought you were in America, and I was like, wait a minute, what? But it makes sense if you're in another country. 1 troy ounce silver maple leaf Munt 1 troy ounce, 108 euros, 101.70. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You live in another country. That your country could be subsidized to buy your silver. That's why they're giving it to you above spot prices. Yeah. If it was a guy that determined on whether or not he makes money off of your silver that he just bought, he's not going to do that. I wouldn't buy your silver right now if I was trying to generate a profit by accumulating a lot of silver. It just wouldn't make sense financially. It means I'm buying at the top, and I'm not going to do that. I don't know that silver's done, guys. Silver could literally keep going. It's just over freaking bought massively. It's not anywhere that I want to buy. It looks like it could be done now, but it could literally just sit here and accumulate for the rest of the day and slowly grind higher. This could have just been like some kind of shock to the system, right? Well, over time, that shock can be priced right back out of it. Or people that have been waiting to buy, finally got a chance to buy. I mean, I'm not, but other people will. And also, you're seeing how it's like it's building in resistance here. So people are selling here. They're literally jumping on this, taking the short right here. They think price is going to reject here. And it could. I don't know what it's going to do, ever. But it's a place where I would have been looking for a short as well, but not right yet. Tomorrow is going to be more important because tomorrow will be the close for this weekly candle. This is only the weekly range Fibonacci tool, right? I've only fibbed this week's low to high. So you pulled back to the 786 retracement of this week's range. And then you build in a small area of support. So it looks like it's trying to grind up to the 382 again, which will be the next big level. And also there's a small volume node up there. See this itty bitty volume node right here? So it lines up perfectly with that 386 retracement level, or 382, sorry, retracement level. That's pretty much like, we don't need the RSI on the 5 minute. I only care about RSI on dailies, 4 hours, or weeklies. But yeah, if it rejects at 104, I'll take a trade on it. I've taken one trade on it already that didn't work, so I'm not like chomping at the bit to jump on a short here. This could have just been a shock to the system, or something in the news could have prompted that heavy sell side pressure, and that could be over already. I don't know what caused that massive sell-off, but I mean, it's just super volatile, right? Volatility is what causes it. Volatility. The IV on this thing is insane. I've never seen SLV at vols this high. You're at a 109 implied volatility at 36 days out. That is crazy. On SLV. On something that usually sits at like 10 on the IV. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's crazy. The whole world is looking at gold and silver right now. The whole world. So, very volatile. So we are finally starting to reject resistance here. Finally. I want another lower close. There's still 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm wrapping it up here in a minute, but I will continue to hold this as long as we don't get a higher close or as long as we don't make a higher daily high. That's where I'm getting out. The high day high. High day high. Because yesterday's high is right above today's high. So if it gets up here, it's probably going there. So I'll be out of it. But if this candle closes anywhere under this, I will continue to hold the short. Anywhere under here, I'll continue to hold. Because this was the signal that prompted the sell trade in the first place. So we'll see what it does, but at least finally we're starting to see that. At least slight rejection. It's the 15 minute looks good, the 30 minute still looks bad. The 30 minute still looks like it's expanding upward and will if it can't go lower than 32.94. There's a higher low, higher low, higher low. Does this candle make a higher low also, or finally does it make a lower low? For anybody just joining us, we're setting in a short up here. My exact entry is 34.30. It's because I'm on a different exchange. I'm not trading on Binance. I'm trading on Weeks, so these prices don't match. Here's my short trade. I'll just show it to you so you can see it for yourself. Right there. So you can see why if it makes a higher high, I'll be out because I'll be in the red then. And my idea is not valid. For my idea to work, it literally has to keep making lower lows. It did make a lower low here. That low is lower. So I want this candle to make a lower high and another lower low. As long as it's not making a higher high, I'll stay in the trade. If it makes a higher high, I'm getting out because it's probably going to break out to the upside, and I don't want to be in a short holding while this thing goes up another 15%. So we'll see if the resistance can hold here. But it doesn't look great. Even on the 30 minute, it's still just another higher low. And that's a higher high. Oh, yeah. It looks like it's trying to break, and I don't want it to, but it might. Silver, there it is. So that's what we were looking for. Let's see if I can get filled. Basically, if it pushes higher, I would exit. I don't want to see it push higher than this. I've not got filled yet. Let me get it. 45 seconds on the close. I'm looking at the 103s. I'm going down 7 points, and I'm dropping a sell as well to get rid of some of that premium. I don't want to hold $13 of premium on a 36-day option expiry. You're going to lose if it just trades sideways all day. You're going to lose all that premium. That's why you got to go out further. You're paying such a jacked up price because of IV that if you only go out a day or even a couple days in expiration, if it trades sideways, you're going to lose every dime you paid for it because the premiums are so much more expensive. It won't make money. It's got to reject this, or it's not a sell. We're already above the midpoint of the weekly range. That's why you got such a big move here, because all these people just got stopped out. I don't want to be victim like that. So I need to see it reject here. As long as it's pushing higher and higher and higher, I'm not looking for the short. It's got to reject here. Has to. You're in that small volume node now. This is where the breakdown occurred. And we want to see sellers come in at a lower price and try to hammer it back down. And right now they're not doing it. They're trying to. It's volatile. Yeah, when you get big ranges like that, midpoint checks are a bare minimum. A bare minimum.
Please do not get in my way. You cannot drive in my lane. Tires is burning the pain. You don't have nothing to say. This is how legends are made. I know
So volatile.
And I'm not pumping the brakes. And I'm not pumping the brakes. I'm too competitive. I like the narrative. I don't know best in the league. Who you comparing with? That isn't fed them. Top of the throne, it is me. How you moving so when it's speed? I just been bringing the I just been bringing the I just been bringing the fire.
Everything's pretty much done going down. Even on pound yen is pulling back off the lows. Pound yen is retraced quite a bit as well. So I'm kind of curious to see if this ultimately finds a bit of resistance somewhere else, but I don't like big upside wicks like that. At least on silver, supply is up there, right? 105.65. If you fib this candle by itself, you're testing the midpoint right now. And it's not easy to get a fill for the trade. If you're trading spot future prices, you can probably get filled easily, but options is different. They don't like to fill that quickly on this platform. Other platforms feel better. And it's not giving me that reaction I wanted to see, so I probably won't send it. I don't want to see it spend very much time here. I want to see that rejection. Because I don't have any edge anywhere else up here. So this is the only place I have an edge. So if it doesn't reject, it's not, my edge isn't working. So most I can lose on this trade, and that's if I wait till expiration, would be $380. And it looks like this. It's just a spread trade. because the IV is so expensive, it's the only way to even do it. So it's a 1 versus 1 risk to reward. It's not a great trade setup. You'll either lose $380 or you'll make close to 317 if you're right. It's not a perfect trade idea. But it's similar to what I did the other day with it. So if it does work and it does roll over, then we'll make our money back on the first trade. But if not, we're going to get stopped out again. I'm not going to lose a full $300. If it breaks back up above this, I'll just exit it. So I'll lose. Oh, sorry. If it just breaks back up above 106, then I'll just get out, because there's no point in holding it much further than that. Where I'll run into problems is if it just gives me a gigantic 1 minute spike. Then I'll lose a lot more than I wanted to, but still well within my normal risk parameters. But you can see I can't even get a fill. So I'm not loving the trade. There's a lot more open interest down lower, so it looks like people are trying to put on risk down here, but they're still paying an exorbitant amount of premium even up there. And it's not a great trade. It's a straight luck. It's a gamble. You would literally need it to roll over and roll over hard, most likely, for it to work. And it might be done rolling over for the day. We'll see later on. I won't be live for that, but you guys can watch it if you want to. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to leave on all the trades that I currently have open. This one I'm leaving on for a long time. We'll see if this one amounts to much, but still not a great entry. It's just what I had to work with this morning. That's all. All right. It was either short it here or don't short it. I honestly think it'll probably bounce higher, but we'll see if it does or don't. Well, I don't know. Not a great trade. So I'm just going to leave this on. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out of it. It's fine. And then the crypto trades that I have open is this short on hype. If it makes a higher high, I'll get stopped out. And then the fart coin short right here has already been, I've already taken profits on it. Right here, I've already realized $300, and this is just unrealized profit at this point. So this trade is pretty much already done. I'm just gonna leave it on, see what happens. And that's it. That's it. That's my day. I probably won't mess with silver because I can't get filled, and I'm leaving the office anyway. And I don't like trading on my laptop that much, so I probably won't look for the silver trade. As far as Bitcoin and all that, December's low is the next potential level of support. I figure it probably will get there. If it doesn't, and it gets back above the yearly open, I'd be a potential buyer up there again. It's a very, I can't buy it here like this. I don't want anything to do with it like this. Because it just feels like to me it's going here. This is the November low down here. So those are your last two kind of levels to hold Bitcoin. You lose that, then it's headed to 74K. Which is what we don't want to see. But you've already closed a breakdown week. Last week was a breakdown. This week is a downside expansion continuation. You're trading under last week's low. As long as you're trading under last week's low, you're threatening a further downside break. Bitcoin won't close until Sunday, but the majority of the volume would be done tomorrow. I gotta be honest with you, it's not a good looking monthly candle. It's a bearish engulfing, not yet But if it takes out that low, it will be a bearish engulfing monthly candle. And that's after basically 3 months of chop. It's not full 3 months because this happened the last 2 weeks of the month, but still, it's been chopping for about 2.5 months down here. That bearish engulfing won't look great. This candle will close Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do not want to see it close as a bearish engulfing. But that's what it looks like it's trying to do. So long-term Bitcoin looks really bad here. Hopefully it can rebound, but it doesn't look like it's going to. It's had every opportunity to rebound. I don't know why weekly and monthly lows don't match up. It is so dumb. If I'm using November's low and December's low, it should match. Oh, that's what it is. That's December's low. Got it. That's in December, but it ain't the low. This is. Okay, I see what's going on. Yeah, it's not a good look. It's a rejection. You rejected December's high, and now you're looking to take out December's low. That isn't bullish. It's the opposite. So hopefully it finds the low, but I don't think it will. I mean, the trend is continuing to the downside right now. And that's why we're holding this hype short, because it was very bullish this week. It still is. You're trading up on the week high. So it's not a great short. It might be a better short next week. I don't know. It might not even be a short. But if Bitcoin breaks down and continues to break down and roll over, I honestly believe this will follow suit. Maybe not all the way down, but at least give back some of this. I could at least look for it to get down to like 28.5, 7, somewhere in there. But we'll see if it works out or not. But anyways, I'm going to make sure that I haven't missed any important questions, and then we'll wrap this up. Thank you for answering everything. You're more than welcome. The crazy thing is I have friends and they are not even thinking about selling. Some people aren't. Some people are buying here. It's crazy. It's very volatile. Very crazy. Price is crazy right now. They all thinking it's going to 300 because of the shortage, and they could be right. It's just, I mean, it feels like to me that it needs to pull back before it can go to 300. I don't think it's going to go from 117 up to 300. It feels more like maybe it hits 120, then pulls back for a couple months and then rallies again and makes it up to like 250, 300. But it's hard for me to imagine that it could go up to 300 from 117. It's already 95 on the 4 hour or on the monthly RSI. It is so overbought. It can only go up a little bit more before you're topped out. I've never seen a 100 RSI reading ever on any time frame. I'm not saying that they never existed or it's never happened. I'm just saying I've never seen it happen. So it does seem like it's getting pretty close to at least pulling back. And I'll be more than okay with putting on a short as long as it can do it from here. But nowhere else. Nowhere else. I don't have an edge anywhere else. See, now that volume node has gotten much larger because of volume. So it spiked up a little bit, and now this is the small volume node. And now it's rejecting there. So I'm not going to keep doing that all the way up. You know what I mean? Eventually, you just don't have an edge. So if it can reject here, I'd be willing to put a short scalp on it just to see if I could catch a bigger blow-off style move. But It's not a high probable trade, to say the least. So be careful. If you're trading this, make sure you know what your risks are. Be aware of your risks at all times. It's just like this insane move having to the downside. You could see something like that similar to the upside now, especially because this move right here has pulled in a lot of emotional sellers. Think about it this way. Imagine if you've been trying to sell silver every day for the last 2 months. Imagine that. It's not a fun place to be. I've been there. So you're literally trying to catch the short on silver because you think it's going to roll over eventually because it's too extended. So you've been shorting and just getting stopped out, like your account has been annihilated. And then you finally see this happen. That's going to make you jump in now, because now you're going to be so emotional. You're literally going to be like, well, I need to make back some of the money I lost trying to short it going up. So now, for sure, people are going to try to jump on the short because this is the first weakness sign or second sign of weakness. And everybody that jumped on it here got smoked. So the same thing could happen here. Every swing high, people are going to try to sell. So it could literally just keep doing this for the rest of the day. Up, 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 up. Slowly, painfully. Because that's the way markets work, unfortunately. Emotions drive order flow. So be careful. It's not a high probable trade at all. That's why I've only taken one shot at it. I don't like trading very volatile assets. I don't really have an edge. I will take it, like if the 4 hour was at 95 or something, then maybe, but this thing has already cooled off. You're not even overbought anymore on the 4 hours. So like here, when you got, which I like 95 and higher, I don't like anything lower than that. 90 on silver, maybe. A cryptocurrency, it's got to be 95 and higher before I'll even try it. And sometimes those work, but most of the time they don't. Even if you get a 98.7 on the RSI on a 4 hour, you could still eat a stop before it rolls over. It's not easy looking at the RSI trying to time a high. It's not a good strategy at all. But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. You guys have a fantastic. Oh wait, yes, the shortage JPM is concerned. Oh yeah, there is a shortage for sure. All right, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you guys trade safe, trade smart, and as always, happy trading, everybody.